Hello, and welcome back to Xpwaste, where if the Olympics were in Gielinor, the Kingdom of Kandarin would absolutely dominate every single sport. Hi, I'm Oxie.
And I'm Michael. If this is your first time tuning into the show, big thank you and welcome. Thank you for choosing Xpwaste as your listening material for the next probably 2.5 hours. If you're not familiar with the show, we talk about old school RuneScape, what's happening in the game. We sometimes talk about the news, what we like about the game. Oxy and I have been playing for a long time, so we're not like experts by any means, but we like talking about the game, so it's obvious why we have a podcast. If you're not new around here, again, welcome back. It is summer's like, is it midsummer or is summer almost over?
We've finally passed the midsummer mark. Like in my head, summer goes from June 1st to July or June 1st to August 31st, just because that's the school summer more or less.
Yeah.
If Michael's going to get pedantic about it and call like Q3 summer, and it's going to be like July 27th to October 4th or some weird capitalist shit like that, like he always does. But in any case, I would say we just surpassed midsummer like a week ago. Because This episode's going to come out on like the last day of July or the first day of August. I'm not sure. Let me look at the quick maths here. This is going to come out August 1st.
August 1st. So welcome to August.
we're heading into the last week or the last like stretch of summer.
Yeah.
And I know like summer weather, at least in Michigan, summer weather can persist throughout September. But September you're back in school, like football starts back up, September is fall time,
Yeah. I think last year, if I remember correctly, it was near 100 degrees still into like October in Texas. And I don't remember it ever being that hot, but I guess that's global warming, climate change.
Yeah, planet is dying. Thank God it's all fake. That's all I gotta say. Thank God global warming is fake, and this is all just propaganda,
Correct, dude. Like we're gonna have to.
States formed from glaciers are experiencing the hottest summers of their lives. Thank God that is not real, and we can rest easy. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. We're going to have to like market what we would call fall bingo as summer bingo if we do it in October and November.
We wish it was fall bingo. That'd be the title of it.
Anyway, it's hot, but it's cooling down. That's why I bring it up. So that's why I said that is because yesterday my son and I went swimming in our pool and it was cold. The water was cold. And it's throwing me off.
XP wasters, let's take a poll here. Does cold in Texas mean cold? Or does cold in Texas mean, dude, it was freezing. The water was 84 degrees.
No, it was cold.
So cold.
It was cold. Like right now, the low overnight is in the 70s. So it's not getting as hot as it normally does.
It's an Arctic blast out there.
Seriously. Normally in the summer, what we would call the Texas summer, it is like in the high 80s overnight, sometimes still in the 90s, because there's not enough darkness to cool down the extreme heat that we've had like during the day. This has been a cold summer. Like the highest this week is 100 degrees on Thursday, the day this episode comes out. Every other day, it's like mid 90s. That hasn't happened for a while, and I'm very happy about it. But the water was cold. Like my son got in the pool and he's like, I'm like, is it cold? He's like, yeah. I'm like, that's weird. Weird, dude. I don't like it. Because I'm supposed to go in the pool and like relax, not like shiver and. But
how about you come up in 2 weekends from now? Because this upcoming weekend when this episode comes out, I'm busy. I got a lot of stuff to do. But the weekend after that, like August 10th, why don't you fly to Michigan and we'll go on a little bit of a road trip and we can go swim in like the Mackinac Straits, or like we'll really ball out, or I'll take you to like Miners Beach in Lake Superior, and we could talk about like good swimming up there, because like God love the Great Lakes. They're cold as hell all year long. I went to Petoskey a few weeks ago for like on my family vacation or whatever. Like it was supposed to be a whole big family trip, but nobody ended up going, and it was just me and my best friend, and it was great. We just like looked for rocks, and I swam, and she just like used the scoop she bought from Jay's and like looked at all the rocks and shit.
Dusky
Um,
stones?
yeah, Petoskey stones, which I had a lot of fun with because I have a shit ton of Petoskey stones. I've been collecting these things basically my entire life, and I have some really nice big ones that I've found over the years. But in our little cabin resort we stay at, there's a family, and they had a teenager who loved collecting and polishing rocks, but didn't have any Petoskey stones.
Mm.
So the whole day, I was like, I'm finding this kid some stones, and I came back with some absolute heaters, just like little ones, you know. But I
Aw.
came back with some good ones, and the kid was overjoyed. I gave this like 14 or 15-year-old like a whole solo cup full of rocks,
Oh.
and she's like, "Oh, do you want any of these?" I'm like, "No, I have way too many. Just take all of them. I don't care." But like going in the water there was amazing. The water was probably like 60 at the absolute highest, maybe like 60-ish degrees. Oh, it was so nice. Like a nice 80-degree day, sun's beating down, it's real hot. And you just gotta full send it into Petoskey Bay is part of Lake Michigan. Man, oh, it's so nice. It is so nice swimming in that water. And it's because like we're on an inland lake when we go on vacation, and in the shallows it gets like a bath water warm, which still might be cold for you down in Texas. But like there's just something different about like a body of water that's so vast it can't be warmed up
Yeah.
in the summer heat.
Yeah.
Like when you touch the waves, you go, ooh, like
Mm.
yeah. I know you saw Lake Huron in March.
That was
and
an
you
interesting experience.
that was cold as hell because there was still snow on the beach.
Yeah.
By the way, if you hear the clicking in the background, I'm rune crafting. So
I do
sorry,
hear the
guys.
clicking. It's okay.
Sorry, not sorry. With all due respect, sorry, not sorry. I have 6 million rune crafting XP, and I need to get to 99. Oh God, 450k to 92. This is gonna be a slog. Anyways, swimming good. I don't know.
I think,
What'd you do this week, Michael?
Well,
what are we talking about? What'd you do this week?
What did I do? So this week, it feels like the longest week I've had in a long time because I got sick. And so if you hear my voice is like an octave lower than it should be, I'm very congested. And there may be the occasional sniffle or cough that we don't edit out. And I do apologize, but I got sick and I don't know what it was. I think initially I don't know what it was, but now I think it's a mixture of like what I had plus allergies. So Monday, my mom came over. We went to the park with my son, and then we went and got Chick-fil-A, and then we came back home. All was well. I think I got some chicken that was not fully cooked because Monday night I woke up at like midnight and puked my guts out. And then Tuesday, I slept the entire day. And Tuesday night, we were supposed to have a meeting, a mod meeting. And I was like, I can't do it, boys. Like, I went to bed at like 7 or 8 that night. And then I've just been slowly recovering each day. But now I'm waking up in like sinus congestion. So if this week has been interesting, and I'm thinking back, I was super cold on Tuesday. Like I had sweatpants, a hoodie, I was in a blanket, I had like a little heat bag. I was cold, and that doesn't normally happen for me. Like it takes a lot to get me to shiver, and it's only usually when I'm sick. But I didn't have a fever. So it's so confusing. I don't know if it was like food poisoning or like a stomach bug. I don't know. But since Tuesday, I've been more prone to being cold. Like the AC will pop on 72 and I have to like throw on a blanket. So that may be why the water was more cold than I think it would normally feel. Is because maybe I got sick and then my like my heat receptors got reset. I don't know. But I've been sick this week. In RuneScape, I got my 12K points in Deadman mode and promptly logged out. And I sent Oxie a screenshot, and he's like, "You gonna go for the teleport?" I was like, maybe. I did the math. It's only like 24 more
Surely you
quest
go for the
points.
teleport.
I could. When did Deadman's gonna be close to being over by the
Deadman
time this
ends
episode comes out?
tomorrow. The day this episode comes out, Deadman ends tomorrow,
Oh, dang.
and the finale is on Saturday.
Okay.
I think, Michael, you could easily crack off that many points because, like you said, not only is it 24 quest points, that's not counting all the levels you'll get along the way. And it's also not counting any diary steps you do or accidentally don't do.
Yeah.
Like,
That's true.
accidentally or purposely complete along the way.
Yeah.
Like, 6K points is super easy.
It is.
In Deadman mode. I got 6K points, I think, in like the first 4 or 5 hours of playing on my main.
That's not bad.
And then like stopped caring as much for my GIM. And I think I have currently 6K on my GIM. And then I have like 3K on my hardcore. Because I was doing the hardcore grind, like following the Osiris guy, and I was like, oh no, I slipped and fell into Deadman mode. That sucked.
That's funny.
So it showed me getting killed, and the group of folks I'm in that we've like formed a little stupid new hardcore clan. We're like, oh my god, already? I'm like, no, it's Deadman. I'm not doing that.
That's
I
hilarious.
think I'm very deep into a safe zone right now in the regular game.
That's hilarious. I definitely could. I think 6K is very doable. It's just it's not for lack of skill, it's for lack of motivation, I think. The teleport is really cool, but it's not the amount of effort that I have to put into it is not something I want to do right at this moment. And that could change. I'm not editing this week, so I'll have some more time to like focus. If I was editing this week, it would not happen. But I'm in the next bracket, so I don't know what that's gonna be like. I haven't come across any like monsters that have tried to take me out. They've all just been people who look scared like me in the second bracket. I think in the later brackets it's when you get to like the gamers that just want to kill people. But I don't know, the 50 to 70 bracket may be just the peace bracket, who knows. But other than Deadman, nothing really has happened in the game. Did I have 90 woodcutting in the last episode? Can't remember. I might have did. Yeah, I did. I got to 83 hunter during skill of the week, and I am 90 hunter, and I'm 90 woodcutting, and that's it. I like yesterday, crazy enough. Yesterday was the first day in I think a while, besides me being sick, that I didn't log in the entire day. It was a Saturday. Normally you're like, it's the weekend, let's game. But I just didn't log in. I have 5 or 6 Audible accounts that all had like 3-month memberships on them. And they're running a promotion like 3 months for free. So I'm like, I have 5 accounts that I can sign up. And so a couple months ago, those memberships were going to renew, and I still had credits. So I paused them all. And then I got a notification on my phone. It's like, you need to cancel these memberships. And I still had credits. And so yesterday I spent a few hours like looking for some audiobooks that I could download, or not download, but that I could buy. And so I could finally cancel those memberships. And I got some good ones. I'm excited. I'm going to be reading, I think I'm going to do Fire and Blood. I downloaded it, but I don't know if I want to finish it before the show. But I also don't want to wait another like 5 years to know how it ends. So I may just finish Fire and Blood and be like, I know how the House of Dragon ends, and then see how they do it. And that would be like the exciting thing.
all the dragons die. That's the whole point of the show.
Yeah,
When you watch
but like,
Game of Thrones, they say all the dragons have been dead for 100 years. So like, end of the day, there's we have an idea of how it ends because
Right.
of Game of Thrones. We just don't know the specifics.
Right. I don't know what the nitty gritty of the war, like special events, if there's going to be any extra characters that pop up, like who knows. But the thing about the show is the book is an account from the Maesters. And so the show goes
And
into
Mushroom,
Who's Mushroom?
the jester in the book. Mushroom.
Oh, I didn't know
It's
that.
Fire and Blood's a history book with, I
Yeah.
think, 2 maesters and a court jester named Mushroom. I
Oh.
think. At least that's what my cousin was telling me.
Gotcha.
So Fire and Blood's not a novel. It's like,
Right. It's a history
you
book.
know, it'll be like a paragraph of like, this is Rook's Rest. This is what happened. Next thing. Like, that's how the book reads, I guess.
Yeah, so the show
But-
explores what is like interpreted. Like we get scenes where there's no maesters. So how do they know what's going on? Well, it's all an interpretation. So the show could definitely do a lot of things that the book never could. So it like me
You've
finishing
not read
the
the book
book,
though, so you don't know.
who knows?
Who knows?
The book could be really good, and also the show still be really good, even if you know what happens. All that to say, I have a lot of hours of audiobooks to sift through at some point with all my 5 accounts. I have like I have a note with all. I think I've showed this before, but like all my different email accounts. And I don't want to show my emails, so that's why I'm going fast. But all my emails and like which book is on which account, because I have some books, I have some series like the Aragon books are separated between 2 different Audible accounts. So like if I want to listen to book 1 and 2, I have to go to this one, and then books 3 and 4 on this one, and then the newest one that came out is on another account. I kind of wish I could just like consolidate them all to one, but can't do that. But
I mean, you could have. You could just pay for it, but
that's true. But I already own it. And I don't mind, I guess, going through different accounts to listen to different books. Have you ever heard of Brandon Sanderson? Are you a big book reader? No. A lot of people like Brandon Sanderson and the Mistborn series, and I tried to listen to it, but the narrator is what got me to stop. Like I couldn't stand the guy's voice, and it's really unfortunate because he's supposed to be a really good fantasy writer, but I can't get past the guy's voice. So that may be one of those books that I just pick up and read for myself. But for now, I'm really sad. But anyway, how are you? And what have you done this week? And tell me about it.
I'm good. The only thing I've heard about Audible that would make me be interested in it is that the voice actor who plays Raphael from Baldur's Gate 3 has a huge collection of books that he's read on Audible.
Okay.
So would consider it for his luscious voice.
Ooh.
But no, so this week has been good. It's been busy. A lot of things IRL have been going on. So like the Olympics started, and yesterday in the car I was catching up on all of like the men's individual saber stuff. I wasn't expecting any of what happened to happen. All the fencers who I initially was like, oh, they're gonna dominate. They all got knocked out by like the round of 32. So I was like, well, that sucks. And then a guy who I thought was gonna like win the entire thing, Ziad El Sisi from Egypt, got 4th place, which whack.
Damn.
But the guy that won, Oh Sang-guk from South Korea, he's been part of the South Korean saber empire for like the last like 12 years. And I think he finally won gold, and that's pretty hype. It's today's women's foil and tomorrow's women's individual saber, which I might pull up and watch live at work.
Oh, nice.
Because I'm really hoping my French ladies do real well in that competition. Obviously the US as well, but like I've only recently seen the US people. So go Manon, go Magda, or hopefully France and US kick ass in the women's saber individual. What else happened? I got a couch finally.
Yay.
After 8 months of living here, I finally got a couch. So I don't know if you can see it, but there's no boxes and shit over there anymore. Because finally with a couch, I have a centerpiece that grounds the room. So we took everything out, all of my like old decorations you used to see behind me, all my old posters, my Furzik poster, my Swamp Athletics poster. They're all like out in my living room now.
Oh, nice.
And I'm like ready to actually decorate the thing. But now the last piece I need is a desk. And I'm thinking about getting a desk. But I don't know if I'm overthinking the idea of, do I get my desk and like the desk I want's like 55 inches, which makes the room a little cramped on the wall. I could get the desk, put it in the living room like I've wanted to, but last night I was like, what if I got the desk and put it in my room? Because I'm thinking when I get everything, I'm going to reorient my room as well, so I don't have like, you know, like computer in my room type shit anymore. So we'll figure it out. But this morning it was nice. The reason I didn't text you back is because I was sitting on TikTok on my couch with the window open, which is what I've been trying to do for like 9 months, and just like forgot that I was in contact with other people.
Yeah.
So it was good.
Totally fine.
I had a good morning there. What else have I been doing? Yesterday was a long day of like heavy lifting, getting the couch, all this other stuff. Something else happened that I was going to talk about, and for the life of me, I forgore. Yeah, I don't know. Oh well.
It'll come back to you.
I suppose it will. But no, in RuneScape, we have been chilling. The hardcore is still following the guide painfully. Yeah. Eventually I'm just gonna break off and do quests. I don't know if I have the strength for Wintertodd. The GIM was doing Deadman mode for a little while, and the main was doing Deadman mode, got about 13,000 points, promptly stopped, and I have been back on the maxing grind. We've been planning a lot of stuff in TNL. So we've had a lot of stuff in the works that's like finally coming out. Like we had Gecko's Brimhaven event that he talked about. We had Skill of the Week that wrapped up a couple days ago when this episode comes out a couple days ago. We have Fall Bingo that is down the road. We're thinking that's going to be about third-ish week of October. Don't write that in stone yet, but we're thinking about third week of October. That seems to be the week that works the best for us. And yeah, it does sound a little selfish, but if we can't be there, it's kind of in the bin, right? So we're thinking about that. And then we've also kind of alluded to like a clan restructure that's been coming. We've been working on that for a couple of months. Ideally, that gets out tomorrow. And I am putting us on blast for this because it's been like pulling teeth to get the three of us to like actually get together at TMD with just the face slapping emoji in the Xpwaste chat for me. No, but like tomorrow, hopefully that comes out and hopefully it makes sense. And if there's any questions, we can go through it. We want to get it out in early August, preferably on like a Friday evening, so we can be home to answer any questions. And then hopefully from there, we can, for over the next like month, like work out any kinks or figure out any issues. Because we're kind of like almost like beta launching this, and it's going to take a while. So like, when we roll out the new ranks, if you don't get your new rank immediately, like it's taking time. We're thinking it's going to be time based. We'll figure it out. I don't want to say we'll figure it out like we don't know. We know you'll figure it out because we'll announce it in a much cleaner way than this rambling that I'm doing several days before the final thing is all done. That's what we've been working on. I'm so excited to start planning Fall Bingo. I'm so excited. I can't wait. I think it's going to be a fantastic time.
Me too.
But yeah, otherwise, I've been still in the maxing grind. I say that because like it'd be super cool to max before Bingo. I don't know if that's realistic, but it'd be super cool to max before Bingo. I hit 91 rune crafting. I got 95 construction. I got 97 wood cutting. And I don't know if we talked about it last time, but I also got 97 hunter and 96 thieving.
Nice.
I'm doing more of a jump around method right now.
Versus like locking in.
CBA, mainly CBA with rune crafting. Oh, the other thing that happened to me this week, in a work meeting on Thursday, I got the beaver pet. So now I have to do forestry, which I'm happy about because I'm so excited for the beaver, but I'm also kind of sad about because that was supposed to be my post-max AFK activity when I wanted to do something on another account. And I was so excited because Redwoods is like the greatest skilling method ever created. And I was so excited to just like chill there and do beaver pet hunting without putting in much effort. But I got the beaver, which is exciting. But now I have to get 15,000 anima bark, which I have no reference point for. I don't know if that's a lot or a little or what.
The nice thing is you can AFK, like you can AFK that if you wanted to. Like you could
I'm
just
hoping
AFK
so.
U trees, do the occasional event that you want to, because there are some that are really click intensive, and there are some that like the rising roots. You just click the green one, and you get woodcutting XP.
Yeah.
So like you could just do
Well-
the occasional event and get the 15K over time.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I mean, I think if I start forestry, I'm gonna want to finish forestry. Like I'm gonna want to essentially green log it. Like that's been on my log or on my like goal sheet is to green log forestry. But I guess we'll see how that goes. Yeah. So that's what I've been up to this week. I'm sure I could talk about more things, but nothing really super important has happened otherwise. Michael, what are we talking about today?
Today,
You had an idea. You had an idea this morning. I woke
Yeah.
up and he texted me the idea, and then 2 hours later was like, "What have I done?" What are we talking about today? Well, I'm gonna, as you
Oh,
describe it,
gosh.
I'm gonna fade transition us into what we're talking about. Here. What are we doing?
You guys have seen the title and the thumbnail. I'm thinking of a really cool thumbnail, and if you've seen it, you like it, let me know. But we're talking about a food and potions tier list. We are really good at tier lists, and it brings out the best in both of us, I think. And there is so many potions, as I learned from making this tier list. Not even like just like the stuff that you wouldn't think about. Like what is on here? Let me pull this up. I can't even see them. I don't know. There's a lot. And I wanted to include the early game stuff because that's still when you are in the early game, and like say you're just starting out making a bunch of, and this is more so for like my iron homies out there, but like you've just started out herblore, you have like 600 attack potions. Like you're gonna take those with you everywhere because you know you made them and you need them. So like the early game stuff, like energy potions on an early iron is really great because you don't have staminas yet. So the I put bread on there just for fun. Trout, tuna, monkfish, all that kind of stuff. So everything's on here, and this is definitely going to be a 2-part episode. If there's one thing that we have learned from all the years of doing tier lists, we definitely cannot get through an entire tier list, even a simple one. Like what was the last one? The skills. I think we got through. We were like ranking the skills, and that was a nearly 4-hour episode.
It was the chill skilling methods.
Oh,
it was
right,
a
right.
4-hour episode because we kept adding shit to it.
No, we're just yappers, dude.
We do yap quite a bit, but we did add way too much in that last one.
We're yappers.
So we
this
followed
is
it up
2.
with like a 50 item tier list. It's gonna be
We followed it up. Some of the, and I say this every single time, but like some of these should be just knock it out, get through it. But we tend to just yap every single time on every single one, even if it's an attack potion. We're gonna yap. There's 2 things that we've been called out for. Nuke asks, "Where's the hunter food?" It's new, so neither of us have had any.
So that means Michael hasn't used it and forgot about it.
No, I didn't forget about it. I was on the wiki, dude. Like it's on the wiki. That's where I got all these pictures. We just don't have any experience with it. I'm sure you haven't used any of the new hunter food. I have not. So maybe like in a year or 2, we'll do a hunter food tier list. And after we get some more experience with it, I know there are some that are really great. Like if you do dashing kebets, it gives you run energy back as well as healing. The new moonlight antelope gives you heals venom and it gives you food. So like there's really great combos.
That bitch heals venom? Okay.
Yeah. But you need 90 hunter or 91 hunter and like 91 cooking to get it as an iron. And then I think you actually need a certain amount of contracts too to even eat it, if I'm not mistaken. And then Fear just asked, where's the purple sweets? That was not on the wiki. So that one I did forget about. But here's the thing. It's not just on me. Okay? I asked Oxie twice today. Is there anything else we should add? Is there anything else you want to remove? He said, nah, dog, it looks good. So it's not just on me, guys. Not just me. But yeah, we're gonna go probably for like another hour and a half, maybe, talking about this. And then
we spent the first 40 minutes of this episode talking about our week, as we always do. That's why tier list takes so goddamn long. Because we yap too much about what's going on.
Yap.
Where do we want to start this shindig, Michael?
That's not for me to decide, man. That's on you. You're the controller today. My hands are off of the mouse, off of the keyboard.
Thank God. Everything's going in F tier.
The one thing that is throwing me off, and I doubt you'll change it, but F tier is green, S tier is red. Why is that the default? I don't know. Oh, he's going to change it.
Is it not like a thing?
No, they
see, I thought this was a.
They make it to where
I hate that they do that.
So stupid. Because like red to me is like red's bad. There you go. Green is good. Red is bad. Thank you, Oxie. Beautiful. So now, but shouldn't S be blue, or is S really green? I don't know.
I'll kill you.
Okay,
it's saying as it.
We could start with food, or we could start with potions. We could do whatever. You know?
All right. Arguably the first potion any account gets. What do you think it is?
Pack potions. Guams and Eyes of Newts.
Wrong.
Anti-venoms?
Strength potions.
Oh.
From the random event. Strength potions can also be purchased from the Apothecary in Varrock on free to play.
Look at that. I had to make
Where are we putting
the
old strength pot?
The strength pot is a staple in almost every account, like you said, because it's a random event item. You get it for free. Free to play, I think, can use it, and it's pretty low on the herblore list. I don't know. B tier, C tier. It's not used. It's not like it's not.
I would comfortably put this in there. I mean, like you use it on a again. I hate to give credit to Iron Man. You'll use this on an Iron Man for a while.
Yeah.
Right? Like until you get, what is it, like 54 herblore or something like that? What is super strength? It's like 50 something.
Yeah.
Super strength is 55. Wow, that was a shot in the dark.
Look at you.
Pretty close. That's crazy. It's almost as if I played Iron Man before. Yeah.
B tier.
So I would put that firmly in the B tier. I'd be okay with that.
You want to follow it up with its brother, the attack potion? Probably also B tier. Yeah, I would agree with that. And then the stepchild, the brother that nobody likes, the defense potion. I've never used the defense potion, like a regular defense potion. Weirdly enough, you get them from Abbey Demons, and that's the only time I've ever sipped one. Is when I randomly get it from an Abbey Demon, and then you're like, well, I guess I could.
All right.
Because I think
I know the spot for this one. I know where defense potion's going.
Yeah, probably the F tier. Because hold on.
Why is it in F tier, though?
Let's see what
Why is it in the F tier?
What do you use? You use a Raynar? Use a freaking Raynar potion?
It's a Raynar for a defense pot. That bitch goes in the F tier because of what is used to make it.
It's bonkers.
In what universe are you using Raynar weeds for defense pots?
Bonkers.
If you don't know what else a Raynar weed makes, that's on you, dog. With all due respect, that's on you.
You should know. It's one of the
Michael,
highest.
If you don't know,
it's one of the highest, like most expensive herbs for a reason. Whoever, I mean, like,
and it ain't because of these damn defense pots.
Maybe the developers back then were like, yeah, it's a low tier herb. Like, you only need, what is it, 20 something, 30 something to clean it. Hold on. You need 25.
Looks like
25
herblore.
25 herblore to clean it. in all seriousness, it should be a low tier herb, but it just so happens that one of the S tier potions on this list uses a Raynar.
Is it S tier?
Oh yeah, but we'll get there.
We'll see. We'll figure it out.
I think we should just knock out all the easy ones. So like a regular restore potion, probably also the no, not the F tier.
I would I'll put the regular restore in the D tier only because it does have its use in the first Desert Treasure quest.
Yeah,
on an Iron Man.
That's true. I don't think I could.
It's like the only time I've ever used a regular restore.
Couldn't have done it without it. And it takes a Harlander and Red Spider's Egg. So that's not too hard. But other than Desert Treasure, you're never going to use a regular restore. Because what does it do? It doesn't restore everything. It's just combat stats, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is nice, I guess. So you can kill the boss in Desert Treasure. If you haven't done Desert Treasure, make sure you're on an Iron Man. You bring your restore potion. Because I don't think I did, and I had a bad time. But that one,
pretty fun. You had to teleport out.
That one's not that high to make it. It's only 22 herb lore, which, again, not that high. Man, we're cruising. We're 4 in already.
Yeah, I was just. I don't know why we're breaking this into 2 parts. We can just machine gun this.
Maybe we will. Let's see. Another low tier herb. Not herb.
Do you remember
potion.
The work we had to do for the agility potion? And specifically what we had to do all the time on our GIM?
No. But it does take toad flax. Holy cow.
When we first started.
Was it Miscellanea?
Our GIM account. TMD was like, all right, guys, we don't have the herb lore level yet because it was Tybal One-Eye Trio that we needed the agility potion for. So for like a week, I carried a toad flax in my inventory, hoping for a Dr. Jekyll random. Because the Dr. Jekyll random, if you don't know, will ask you for whatever herb you have in your inventory. If you have no herbs in your inventory, he'll ask you for something that gives you a strength pot, right? But he'll give you a corresponding potion to whatever herb he asks you for. And if he asks for a toad flax, if you have one in your inventory, he'll give you an agility potion.
Pretty cool mechanic.
Turns out it doesn't work if you go to a bank. If he pops up and you go to a bank, he disappears, which is cool. So yeah, I just had to like carry a toad flax around for a while, and it never even happened. Like I don't even think that's how we ever got it. I think like after so long, we like waited for so long, TMD accidentally got 30 herb lore from farm runs. So like it didn't matter.
We
but I do get quite the kick out of that.
Yeah.
I do get quite the kick out of that.
So agility potion?
Firmly, yeah. I put this firmly in the C tier strictly because of its life-saving effects in Morning's End Part 2.
Yeah. I mean, before you get to Summer Pies, the agility potion really is what you use for any sort of agility boost. C's fine. I think I have more of a sentimental look at the agility potion from my account because I used it to like get to shortcuts that I just didn't want to train agility for. Like I think I was using it for a while to get up to Konar in Mount Karom. I was using it for a while for the Zulrah jump. I was using it for one of the ones in Prif too. But now, I mean, I'm pretty high agility now, so agility potions come in clutch for a lot of things, and for Morning's End, all of those damn agility checks that you have to do also come in clutch.
Break one of these bad boys out in the wilderness with you. Use it to cross the Revenant Cave jump because most PKers do not have, what is it, like 88 agility for that shortcut or some shit like that. It's, I think, let me see that shortcut. It is 89. Most PKers don't have 89 agility. So
you could save yourself a few hours. I mean, Summer Pies exist, but
they do, but you only get 2 doses instead of 4.
True.
If you wanna train a little bit, or you can just get 89. You know, be a man, get 89.
Do it.
PKers can't stop you. Save an inventory spot. I'm fine with B tier.
Yeah, it could go into B tier. Yeah, let's put it in the B tier. Beautiful.
I'm fine with that.
Beautiful. Another low. So I think probably one of the most useless potions that we have left probably has got to be the magic potion. Who uses a magic
Okay,
potion?
is that a low tier potion though?
Is it not?
I thought you were gonna say the combat potion.
Oh, well, I
I'm
can't
pretty sure
see.
you don't make
Oh, it is
magic
the
potions
combat
till
potion.
57. I was gonna say 57
What?
Herblore makes magic pots. I would put the combat pot. Okay, have I ever told you how I trained Herblore when I was like didn't have any friends who played this
Mm-mm.
game and could teach me how to do things? So way back in the day, as a reward for the Desert Easy or the Desert Medium, one of the two, I was poor as shit, right? So I bought a bunch of, I want to say it's Harlanders,
Oxie.
and it was very expensive at the
It's
time. It was very
76.
expensive at the time.
76
what?
for a magic potion. You're looking at the magic essence potion. Level 76. Lantodiamond and potato cactus. What? Okay, continue your story. I just wanted to shock you with
Antidiamond
that
potato cactus
realization.
in what? In what? A vial of blood? No, I don't know what that is. No, but anyways, I needed to train Herblore for something. And with the Desert Diary, all the desert goat horns were noted. So I bought a bunch of Harlanders, cleaned them manually, put them into vials of water myself, which took forever and was so boring and terrible. Don't ever do that. And then killed like 1,500 desert goats and manually ground up all their horns.
No.
It was a main account, and I did this. And I trained to. I needed Herblore for some quest, and I didn't have any money. I couldn't PvI. I didn't do anything. I didn't have any money. I didn't have any friends who could like play and give me like, oh, here's 2 mil for supplies. Like that was like my entire bank at the time. So I was like, all right, I want to do this quest on stream, so I better do some off-stream grinding. And that was the off-stream grinding that I did. I made so many regular ass combat potions back in the day. So yeah,
those are level
I have
36.
I've made a lot of combat potions in my time. But like look at the other potions around that bracket though. Like what's 2 levels up from 36? Prayer potions. Ain't no way I was going to be able to afford that shit.
True.
And then it was I don't even think I had 45 for super attack. So it was like, well, I spend every ounce of money I have on Raynar weeds, or I go kill a lot of desert goats. And the desert goats seemed like the better choice. So I did. And I made at least a couple thousand. I think maybe either 1,400, 2,200. I don't remember what it was.
That's hilarious.
I don't even remember what level or what quest I was trying to do. I just remember so many regular combat pots being made. Because why would we look up? It's not like now where I'm like on the Herblore calculator with essentially unlimited money trying to figure out like what the fastest way to get 99 is.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, what's the best way we could do it? So combat pots turns out not the best way to do it. Though honestly, if you're a main account and you need to train up, like first of all, do quests. Why are you not doing quests? But combat pots are a decent enough training method, right?
It's all
if
lost,
you already
though, right?
have the
all lost.
If you are, well, I mean, Herblore is almost always all lost.
Right?
Around that level bracket.
Yeah, I have a point
around that level bracket. What's the point?
If you're going to be doing Herblore, it's going to be advantageous to look up what the buy price for all of the components are and what the sell price is, and just do them in small batches. So if you have, say, 100K to work with, buy yourself 100K worth of Raynars and Snapegrass, make all your potions, sell them, and then now maybe you're left with 98K or whatever the loss is, and just do that until you've spent all your money, instead of doing what Oxie did and getting all of the supplies to this at once. You know, you could just like make a higher tier potion and cut your losses in small increments versus needing the 50 mil of capital to just buy everything all at once.
I mean, look, the way I'm doing it for max is not how I would do it on a low level account, right? Obviously, we know I've done both. I've collected too many goat horns. And I've also thought, what if I one ticked to super extended anti-fires for 800k an hour? We'll get to that point when I get 98. But I'm saying if you're really like at a low level, like super attacks are some of the best, right? Super
Oh,
attacks are
100%.
great. But if you need to get from 36 to 45, combat parts aren't too bad. Toad flax are expensive not expensive, but toad flax are a component in brews. So yeah. And then you're definitely not going to make Raynars. You're definitely not going to make prayer pots if you're low level with no money. So don't sleep on the combat pot, but don't put that bitch anything higher than the C tier.
You could.
Maybe D tier even. Maybe the D tier.
For the
even.
combat pot?
But
D.
for the combat pot.
No,
That
F
bitch,
tier.
it's either
Nobody uses it.
No, nobody uses it. I would say give it merit as a low level training.
Oh, as a
potion.
Okay, that's its only redeeming quality.
It's a potion to train. It's literally the only redeeming quality. I've made more combat potions than probably all of our listeners combined.
Probably.
And I as a low level training method before you get super attacks, I think it has merit enough to get to the D tier. But other than that, what the hell?
So if you're not aware,
Also in the super niche uses, right? And I know if you do a lot of God Wars, you've experienced this too. When you are on like a 4-hour Bandos trip and you're completely out of supplies, and Bandos drops a regular combat pot, and then you give it to the tank, or you give it to one of the DPS people, the pot share. You pot share a regular combat potion with like scythes and void wakers and shit. That's just kind of funny.
That's comedy.
I would say no higher than the D tier, but
So it gives you 10% of your level plus 3 in boost. So at 90 attack, I would be getting a 12.
You get 12 boost? That's actually kind of decent. Because the super combat gives you what? 17?
Maybe? I don't know. A super strength, if I boosted, it'd be like 100 and 115, 116. No, not that high. That's at 99.
Yeah. I'm saying at 99, this thing could theoretically get only 5 points less than a super combat potion. I think this is a D tier potion.
Okay.
I think we've made enough of a point to make it a D tier pot.
Pop it in the D tier.
Please don't buy these.
How much are they?
Like, don't buy these. Don't use these.
Oh.
Train with them if you have to. They're cheap, but they're cheap for a reason. Like, don't.
Whoa. They give you 84 Herblore experience?
Yeah.
For an Harlander, though. That's not bad.
I told you, as a training method, they're pretty legit. This was my mindset.
You lose 687 GP per potion, though.
And that's why I got the goat horns myself. Because at the time, I was like, that's how I'm going to save money.
Oh, no.
This is also the same Oxie that went from like 50 to 60 agility on the Falador rooftop course. This is the same Oxie that did, like, I don't know, all of his Slayer training by safe spotting greater demons in the catacombs of Korend with Fire Blast. Like Oxie, before meeting people and learning how to play this game as efficiently as I do, or inefficiently as I do right now, was a very, very, very different player. Like,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
It wasn't until like
we've made you better.
Summer 2021, even maybe summer 22. I think it was summer 21. I was at my grandma's house. She was having a bit of a dementia bout, so I needed to go watch her for a little while. And I needed to get 90 woodcutting for the Korend Elite Diary, or I needed to get 85, I think. And it finally clicked in my head that like it's less U logs, but it's way less time to do teaks. What if I did teaks and just dropped them to get 85? Yeah. Prior to that point, I had been like, Magic's. It's the best XP possible, right? Like, I have done some whack ass training methods in my day. So, I don't know what you want from me.
I don't know what I want from you either. Frick, dude. I just got 2 pages from a medium clue, but they're both dupes.
F.
And it was 2 good ones, Ancient Pages and Zami Pages. We only need one page to complete a book. Ugh, anyway. Yeah, combat pots, I wouldn't do it. D tier's fine. Let's see. What are we looking at for is we're going up the list, I think, basically.
What about a regular energy potion?
Those are kind of goated. They don't take much. Let me see what the energy potion we're looking at here. Again, it's a Harlander, which is easy to get. It's a low tier farming herb, and a chocolate dust, which as a buyable secondary, kind of cracked. This is what you should have done, Oxie. You had all of the you were so close. You had all of the Harlanders already, but you decided to get a
dude. It only gives, how much XP do you get for making these things?
Let me see. Energy
67. It was less XP.
Oh, it is. I guess it is a lot less.
It was only 67 XP
versus 84. Yeah, you're right. But
I was cooking. I was cooking with like milk and cereal, but I was still cooking with something.
We got to give this man some respect.
Yeah, put some respect on the combat pots, okay? I don't know.
C tier.
Fine, sure. No,
they're not
contest.
great.
C tier,
but they're also not that bad.
It's like what? Like I use super energy potions on an Iron Man to 31 to do Edgar's ruse. Literally, that's the whole point. Who cares? Call it good. After that,
honestly, dude, I would still be using energy potions to this day because if I wasn't a group Iron Man, I'm still not even 77 herb lore. Granted, Pi boost exists, so I could be boosting for them.
Yeah,
but without TMD,
but super energies, dog.
Oh,
Avantos and mushrooms.
That's true. I forgot about.
Let's do that
energies.
one next. So this super energy, the good old super energy. I like this potion a lot. This potion carried me to Song of the Elves on my GIM.
Oh, wait, why? We had staminas, didn't we?
No, it didn't carry me through Song of the Elves. It got me to 70 herb lore, so I could do Song of the Elves. Because the secondary is the easiest thing to collect.
That's true.
Once you have the stick, all my Iron Men out there listening,
get yourself a
once
stick.
You have what's the thing called? The damn blisterwood, whatever.
Yeah, the flail.
Sure. If either it's the Avantis flail or the blisterwood flail, you can bless with it like you can the sickle and get a bunch of stuff. So where your what's the thing called? Wear your Draken's medallion. Have the stick in your hand and run just north of Top Bank. There's a 3 log spot with no ghasts. You just fill your inventory with all of these mushrooms, teleport back to Top Bank, bank malt, and just repeat for a couple hundred mushrooms. And then by the time you have all your Avantos, or Avantos, however they're pronounced, you're chilling. So that is what I did for probably a bulk of my training. Because I don't know how TMD had all these limp words because I never had them. I don't know if I never grew them or I never got lucky, but I never had any damn limp words. Ides of Newt are fine, but for a while I don't think I could grow irrits. So, or I didn't have any irrit seeds or something. So, personally, I'm a fan of the super
energy pot. What's the quest that you need for the Drakens? Is it Sins of the Father?
It's Priest in Peril to get
the Draken's medallion
to Top Bank. Draken's medallion is Taste of Hope.
Taste of Hope.
If you don't do a Taste of Hope,
easy.
You can still get to Theater of Blood without doing
you can run there.
That. It's a pain in the ass because you have to run north down past Port Fatty Asmus and run north into Tob from there.
Yeah.
So like it's a pain, or you can pay to take the boat or something like that.
Yeah, it's like
but you can get there. You can absolutely get there at a low level.
Sleep and then run south.
Yeah,
from the boat.
I just don't know if you're allowed to take the boat if you've never gone there before. You might be able to, but it costs a little bit of gold to get there, I think.
Just do Taste of Hope and you got an unlimited telly.
Yeah.
Taste of Hope is pretty easy. It's not one of the ones that are like you have to fight a big bad that's going to kill you.
You do.
But
you have to fight the Abomination and you have to fight Rannis. So it's not like a combat-free quest. It's not as hard as Sins of the Father, but it's definitely
Right.
you have to do some combat.
All right, so super energy. Let's see. It's definitely not C tier, but I don't think it's A tier. So where does that leave us? Are you
I would put
wait?
it in the A tier.
You're putting it in A tier?
Dude, it's a super expendable. You make them by the hundreds. You don't have to worry about like wasting your marks of grace. I'm a fan of the super energy. I'm a super energy stan, and I put this shit in the A tier. Strictly speaking, from my GIM on my main account, I never use these things. Again, I have
Well, yeah. So we're
limited
not
money on the main account.
we're not strictly basing this off of what you get from the SIP. This is partially how useful it is in Herblore training. And then if you're on an Iron Man, obviously this is what you use and stock up on before
Bro,
you
there
have
ain't
stamina.
no way. Nuke Moose said A tier, bruh. I would rather walk out of the room for 3 minutes and use the super energy.
That's pretty elitist.
There is no way. There ain't no way. Main account Moose is talking shit about the super energy superiority when training that skill on the shittiest version of the account you can make.
You still need them. So I kind of stand beside you. Stand with
he
you
says
on this.
bathroom break over
Oh my
super
God.
energy. You know what, Moose? Mad respect for talking like a true main account, right? And I apologize to all my other mains out there because I am talking like an iron this episode. But honestly, I gotta put this bitch in the A tier.
Oxie,
You know,
you do have more Iron accounts with membership than main accounts. I'm just gonna let you know
I have
that.
more iron accounts with membership than you do. I'm the Iron Man now.
You really
and I
are.
say the game mode sucks.
Put it in the A tier. Get it up there.
Right in the A tier. Right in the A tier for super energy,
Get her up
baby.
there. Let's see. What's next in our
We're like ascending.
list.
We're ascending the level order pretty decently.
I think we got a pretty good spread though. Holy cow. We haven't seen our first S tier, which we should soon. If we're gonna be
What about another low level dandy for us? The anti-poison. And then by proxy, the super anti-poison.
Good old reliable anti-poison? How could that not be at least a B tier? If I was a more confident person, I would put every single potion that cures poison or venom in the A tier because they are doing God's work.
I don't know about that one, brother. I really don't. Only because hear me out, dog. You can get super anti-poisons way earlier.
They're free.
Okay, hear me
You just
out.
have to hop around.
I put anti-poison in the C tier and super anti in the B tier.
Okay. And then
just because it's like double the time.
Yeah. Okay. It feels bad because like they're doing God's work. They're
but not
they're
really
fighting for our lives with us.
It's like 2 minutes. It like saves one hardcore's life. We don't care about that. You know, like in this house, we just don't care. It's not a thing that we're particularly keen on.
Okay,
over here.
Well, dang. So we just did 2 in 1. So super restores, super anti-poisons. I don't know the strat that I don't think I've ever made a super anti-poison because for me, anytime I need one, and I have used them quite often on my iron when I'm doing cow fight tasks, is to just go north of Castle Wars and hop probably like 20 times, and then you've got 5 of them, 4 doses for free. But I've never even looked to see what it takes to make one. Hold on. Super anti-poison is an Irrit and a ground unicorn. Okay, that makes sense with the ground unicorn because to make an anti-poison, which is one of the lower tier herbs, you need... Oh, dude, that's the second potion you ever make. It's a Marintil and a ground unicorn. Okay.
Yeah.
See, for herblore training, and for overall usefulness. Why not put them in the B and the A tier respectively?
It's so low level though.
Yeah.
Like, what is it? Guam and Eye of Newt?
But we put the attack
You'll already
strength
get
in the B tier.
Yeah, but I'm saying for training Herblore, you'll get to a point where you get Herblore, like do quests to get you Herblore levels with the regular attack potion. You know?
With the Guams and the
And I think it's way more
yeah.
accessible because you can't buy unicorn horns. You
No.
have to ground them up yourself,
Gotta be
like the
killing
goat
'em.
horns. And take it from me, you ground up enough horns in your life. You don't want to do that shit anymore. You know?
You really don't. There's never a good spot that I've not found a good spot to kill unicorns. I always go like just west of
It's like
Catherby.
south of Varrock or something like that. Like it's some weird.
Oh no, I think you
or
think
west of Catherby. Yeah,
south of Edgeville. There's a couple. I always go west of.
I know there's some
Catherby.
south of Varrock too.
There
That's where I got them on
are-
the iron.
There is a pack of wild unicorns near Land's End, but I've only been there once. I guess C, B, and C respectively. Am I saying that right? Respectively. Anyway. Oh, you've organized it. That looks beautiful.
Yeah. I was just saying, I finally organized. It was driving me insane. The shit was just all over the place. So I'm like, we need to make this look a little bit better. We got to get something going here.
Gorgeous. Well, we're getting into we've got all of the the low level stuff, I think.
Yeah. Now it's like the potions that you as a higher level, even as a mid game player, you're going to see these potions. Like it's finally time, the shit you actually use. We're done with the early Iron Man bullshit. Now it's time to this is main account Oxie talking for a majority of this. They'll probably Iron Oxie's going to come out a little bit.
Yeah.
Because just some of these, what's the point?
Well, okay. This is all the stuff
where are we starting?
You starting fresh out of Tutorial Island. Your friend gives you 100K. You're probably going to buy a lot of these to use.
Bro, if you start fresh off Tutorial Island, your friend gives you 100K, you're gonna buy fucking black G armor. You're not gonna buy. You're not gonna buy I need to have my runes and restores for all my PvP. Fuck that. No, you're gonna buy. No, you're not. You're gonna be you know what sounds really cool? Salmon. Salmon are delicious. I'm gonna buy 100 salmon, and I'm gonna buy black G armor because it's sick as fuck. And then I'm gonna buy a red cape because that also looks sick as fuck. Oh, I have 60K left over. Let's ball,
Let's get a room.
Your first 100K is not going to be spent on the most efficient potions off Tutorial Island.
Maybe you're right.
Because the thing about a lot of these potions is they scale with your levels, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the potions that we're looking at here either boost your stats or restore something, notably prayer and health, by a certain level threshold, right? So Ceridome and Brews at 10 hit points are not that useful because I think they only restore a certain percent, 20% HP, something like that. Because I think Brews are 18 healing. So that would make sense if it's 20% rounded down. But again, I don't have it in front of me. Michael can pull it up, or don't quote me on that, whatever it is. So a lot of these potions get better the higher level you get. The higher your prayer level gets, the more prayer points you get back from prayer pots and restore pots or super restore pots, right? The higher your combat stats get, the higher all of these super sets and ranging potions boost you up, right? There are some things that don't have that, like the antidotes and staminas, things like that, the more timed potions. But a lot of these pots get better with age. They're like a fine wine, they get better with age. You get better with time. The more skill you have, the better they get. So where do we want to start, Michael?
Well, I guess I'll fact check you here. 15% plus 2 for a Sarah Brute. You were close. It's 15% plus 2. Rounded down.
15% rounded down plus 2 still gives you what, 16, 18 health, something like that?
It's up there. Per sip.
Oh, you know what? It's 16 because it's the Karambwan is 18, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure Karambwan's 18.
You know what I should have done? Holy smokes. I should have put a plus number on each one of these just so we had
Next
them.
time.
Next time. That would have been so smart. Man.
Next time.
I kind of kicking myself for that. Chrome ones are probably 18 or 20. I can't remember. Let's just go with the sets. Let's get them in order now.
We'll go with the sets. All right. Super attack, super strength.
We have differing views, and I think it comes down to what tax bracket we both identify in, because
oh, for the mains. I already know where this fight.
You're gonna.
I already know what this is gonna be between.
You're gonna disagree. This is gonna sound wild, right? You're gonna disagree. Super attack, super strength, super defense. A super attack and super strength are S tier for me.
Wrong.
I know. And then
okay.
super defense is A tier because it's so much cheaper just to take a super attack and a super strength, even as a main account, with you on a Slayer task, because 9 times out of 10, you're probably praying an overhead prayer, you're wearing proselyte, you don't need defense. So then taking an entire Skalaxin, poor people talking here. I'm
glad I'm not the only one who said it. So but go ahead.
Taking an entire super combat potion, which is going to cost you like 3 or 4K per sip, if they're still like 12K, that's so expensive. Yes, you could pick up 3K off the ground in the time it takes you for your stats to drain down. But overall, I think a super strength and a super attack they're just better. And when we're talking about Herblore training, since we have been, Irits, Eyes of Newt, and then Quorums and Limpworts, those are probably going to be your main staple Herblore training methods, even as main accounts for many, many, many levels. So you probably have hundreds of them already. At least I did. I almost never use super combats. I do now because I have hundreds of millions of GP that are just sitting around. And I'm like, I mean, I guess I can act my wage and not use super combat, super strength, super defense. Like pre-pot all of those and rather than just do super combat. Did I say super combat? I meant super attack, super strength, super defense. Anyway, I would put them in the S tier. I know you're going to disagree, so let me hear what your pitch is.
All right. So I will say during leagues too, many, many moons ago, during the first leagues, my first leagues 2, I would bring super attack, super strength, and super defense into Theater of Blood while I was learning it on leagues. And after about 10 raids, somebody said, Oxie, why are you taking super defense? I said, so I can have a super set. And they said, dog, Ceridome and Brews give you defense. Why? I'm like, oh. And then I stopped taking them. So love to hear your justification as to why super defense are A tier. But for anyone now who has a bank value of over 10 mil, here's where we're going to start talking, right? If you have any modicum of money in this game, like I said, over 10 mil, this talk is for you, right? I don't know what you're doing that less inventory space on a main account is justified by saving a little bit of money. I have a sneaking suspicion, and it's just AFK Slayer.
It's just AFK
right?
Slayer.
It's just AFK Slayer. I don't think pitting them against the super combat potion, I think they give you the same stat boosts, right? They give you the same stat boost as a super combat potion, I'm pretty sure. So you'll still get to the same thing. And they are useful. Like when Zammy drops these, it just makes the trip last even longer, right? On an Iron Man, when you're doing crabs or something like that, they're half decent, right? You're going to use them for boss encounters because the super combat's like 90 or 95 to make super combats on an Iron. So, it's going to take some work, right, to get your super combats. I don't think the super attack and super strength are meritless. And he is correct in that these things are absolutely fucking cracked for training Herblore. Limpworts, I don't know how people get a lot of Limpworts because I'm a shitty Iron Man. But you buy like 10,000 Eyes of Newt and just grow Irits forever. This is your Herblore training straight to 99. Like the secondary is unlimited for you with super attacks. I think as a training method and as a base before you get 90, on an Iron Man. Super attack and super strength. I could put them in the A tier. Super attack and super strength. I'm putting them bitches in the S tier because there is an S tier combat potion, and it ain't that one. And like I said, if you have more than 10 mil in your bank, you know exactly what that potion is called, right? I do not know why in the fucking world you want to put the super defense anywhere higher than the D tier. I need some good justification
D tier
as to why the super defense potion goes anywhere above the D tier.
You make a good point with the brew. I did not consider that. And whoever told you that, that's a good observation. But I would counter in saying if you're just doing AFK Slayer, they still have merit because likely you're not going to be taking brews for AFK Slayer. I would hope not anyway. If there is a time where so say you're not overhead praying, you're just taking Karambwans or sharks or whatever. Hopefully you're not taking sharks. Usually if I'm just going to do AFK Slayer, I'm taking Karambwans because I have thousands of them, or I'm taking like monkfish or something. So you want to be a bit more beefy and you want to stretch your food a bit. And what is it? Catentine and Whiteberry, also very, very easy to get. When it comes to Herblore training, those three probably are what you're looking at for a lot of your training, especially on an Ironman. Because what you want to do is while you're going to be using them, yes, you also want to stock up on those so that when you do get to 90 Herblore, you can start making the super combats, which is Herblore training plus you're just combining them all into one. So above D tier, I think they deserve at least, if I'm taking your points into consideration, which I am, they deserve at least C. B would be generous. C tier. I think okay, maybe C is generous
because in what universe, like you've even said you use this when training Slayer. What AFK Slayer are y'all doing with overhead prayers unlocked that you're not praying overheads?
So the only ones that I do overheads are like Dust Devils, Necreals. I think I use overheads consistently at Bloodvelds, but everything else I just face tank it because I'm lazy and I would rather go and bank all my stuff that I'm picking up and just get more food. And I have Guthans, which is also kind of nice. When you have Guthans, you can heal unlimited and you're not taking as much damage if you have a super defense.
But and like I understand the logic. I have never heard of anybody who does that and takes super defense. Because like that's a fine way to train Slayer. Just use food. Don't use prayer pots. Prayer pots are way more expensive than food. They're harder to come by. They're more valuable on an Iron Man than food is because you can catch thousands of wands at a time, right? Like, I get it.
I use them because I have them. Like they're in my bank.
If you didn't have them,
rotation.
would you go out of the way? Would you go out of your way to buy them on your main if you didn't have them?
I did. Yes. They were in my rotation of potions because there was a lot of times where my super defense was right next to my brew. And there have been more than one occasion where I'm like, oh, I'm just going to stop. I'm going to get a full inventory of brews. And I took a full inventory of super defenses. Yes, I did use them on my main. Listen, we think in different tax brackets. I think that's just how life is sometimes. There are people
that we're thinking in different. It's not we're thinking in different tax brackets here. I think it's that we're putting too much credit. I think Skillaxon said it best. D for defense. Right? I think Skillaxon in the recording booth chat said it best. D for defense. Because dog, just bank more often. If you're already banking to drop your loot and get more food, just bank more often. Swap the thing out for another piece of food and bank more often. What are you doing?
But I like, okay, another reason why I use them is defense is my lowest combat stat right now. I'm currently training it, but when I have 96 strength and 90 attack, 84 defense, it's not low, but it is the lowest of the three. And if I'm just face tanking and I'm not using my Darox, like I've brought my strength gear, I have it, so I'm going to be using it. I can't, like, I have not played a main account consistently for like a year and a half. I can't think like a main. It's hard for me to think like a main sometimes. So that's why
Apparently, it was hard for you to think like a main when you played a main.
It was, okay? I mean, even at 99 defense, I was taking them training AFK Slayer.
Christ on sale. I cannot in
Full
good faith put this higher than a D
Bandos.
tier. I'll give you this. All right, here's the deal. I will give the super defense credit as being a very good herblore training method. White berries are super easy to get. Cadentines are fine. The only reason why on an iron you would want to keep cadentines are for your bastions later, but you ain't making bastions for a long goddamn time because you need a vial of blood on an Iron Man, and you got to do Theater of Blood to get those consistently. That's the only way you can get them. I would not use Cadentines to train Herblore because of Bastion pots, they are expensive, but as a main, so making super defense probably off the table as a main account for like training, but on an iron, super defense training methods are like, it's a fine way to train. And you are right, you make a stockpile of them, it's going to make your life a lot easier when the time comes to make those super combats on an iron. I think that's what pulls it out of the F tier for me. Right? I think that's what pulls it out of the F tier as, why would you ever take this anywhere on any level of account?
Okay.
I think its efficiency as an herblore training method puts it in the D tier for me.
Okay, because I think what we're probably going to do next is the divines, right? So can we do a compromise where regular super defense is in the C tier, and then we just throw the divine super defense in the F tier? Because I think that's where that one goes. Nobody is using a divine super defense.
How about we split the difference and put them both in the D tier?
Would you put? Would you not put the divine super defense in the D tier or in the F tier anyway?
We put them both. We could, because now it does all the useless things of a defense pot, but also takes 10 hit points away. Right? So like, I'd be fine to put divine. I could put divine super defense in the F tier. That's fine with me. C tier is so generous. C tier is so.
Sometimes you got to be generous. Sometimes we have to split difference and be generous. Because remember, I wanted to put it in the B tier. Remember?
You wanted to put it in the A tier, Michael.
Oh, I did, didn't I?
You wanted to put super defense in the A tier.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
That's so so just like unreasonably generous.
Okay, that's fine. Put it in the D tier.
But where are attack and strength going?
Attack and strength are in the B tier.
Super attack and strength. Did we agree in A tier?
Oh, I said the S tier originally, didn't I?
Yeah, but I said the A tier.
A tier's fine. Yeah, let's put them in the A tier.
Okay.
A tier. Man, that's so wild. Wait, super defense is D tier, not F tier.
Oh,
there you go.
Yeah, wrong spot. What about divine super attack and divine super strength?
I think it's a waste of crystal shards to put. I think anything except for like, well, all of them are fine except for those two. So those could probably be put in the C tier because you shouldn't make them. If you're going to like, the usefulness of a super attack and super strength is the fact that it's accessible and you're going to have them. So putting the crystal shards in there, you're wasting money and you're wasting your crystal shards because one, crystal shards are not tradable, so you have to get them yourselves, or you have to spend a lot of money per shard and buying crystals from other people and then breaking them down. Only two ways to get them. If crystal shards were tradable, just the shards themselves, I think that a lot more people would just ball out on divines and we wouldn't have this problem. Because they'd probably be super cheap. Okay, C tier. Otis said that Daddy and Papa are agreeing a little too much this time around. It's coming. I think it's coming. Because we're getting into the elitist.
Then let's get into it,
Let's
bitch.
get
What
into
about the
it.
super combat pot? Where are you putting this one? If
Um,
he says anything lower than the fucking A tier, I'm gonna start swinging. I swear to God.
That's hard for me.
Because I know where I'm putting this potion.
Well, then tell me where you putting it, and we'll see if I agree.
This is S tier. Are you kidding me? How would you put the super combat potion anywhere but the S tier? Main account Oxie's back on the floor, bitch. Where would you put the super combat anywhere but the S tier? You take super combats to every single mid, late, and end game PVM boss encounter in the game. You can take super combats for AFK Slayer if you have, like I said, more than 10 mil in your bank. Don't get me wrong. Super combats will get overshadowed in some places by other things, notably in the raids, right? Super combats really fall off in usefulness at chambers and at Tombs of a Masket the minute you get overloads. You use them the entire time in Theater of Blood. You'll use them for the only combat encounter I can think of that will beat the dog shit out of you that you don't use super combats for is the Gauntlet, and that's because you can't take them in there with you, right? I think the super combat and by proxy the divine super combat. Well, I don't know if okay, this is the spicy is I don't know if divine is S tier, but we'll get there. I think regular super combat is without question S tier.
Here's where I would have done it, right? The divine should almost always be a tier above because that just makes it lasts the entire 5-10 minutes, whatever the boost is. It's never is it always is it 10 minutes? It's 5 minutes.
5.
So it's 5 minutes at the sacrifice of what? Like a tuna? You have to go to your house and heal. So if it were me doing this, I would put the super combat in the A tier and then divine super combat in the S tier.
I would flip them. And I know
them? What the?
So fear,
What?
fear. One of our resident Blorva enjoyers here is hitting me with hella question marks right now. Only reason why the divine super combat is not in the S tier. If you are in a combat encounter where you have brews, restores, and divine super combats, and something happens where you take a 70, right? You ever sip the divine super combat at Tob? And then one of your amazing, lovely teammates who's super talented sends a lightning ball at you and hits you for a 46. Or they don't call that crabs are underneath Verzik and you get hit for a 40. You only have 30 HP. You should probably eat up at that point. If you don't have any more hard food, you've now, in 30 seconds, wasted a dose of your divine super combat. So then you're left with a couple of choices. Number one, you just don't heal and hope your blood fury does God's work. Or you waste the dose by drinking a super restore because it reduces all the stats you just boosted. And now you're forced with the option of, do you sip another divine super combat? So no matter what, you're still taking an L on the HP that you need to get back, right? Or do you just not and wait and go with 102 attack instead of 116 attack, right? You sip a regular super combat, you keep the divine boost. I understand that. I understand that's the logic behind it. If you don't have that accessible to you, is what I'm saying, right? You go to an encounter like Fazani's Nightmare, unless you are truly taking a divine and a regular everywhere you go, right? Which isn't terrible tack. I think sometimes in some situations, the divine super combat can be a hindrance if you need to use a brew. The same thing happens. I don't ever take divines to God Wars because usually I go with teams, right? And you pot share. So like, I think, don't get me wrong, the divine is good. I think the divine super combat has a wonderful place in a lot of pieces of content. I think it's an essential pre-pot I use everywhere. Divine super combat, divine range, shark, angler, anti-venom, stamina pot, imbued heart. Those 7 everywhere we go, right? We're covered. We're good to go.
So
I think I truly just think if you need to super combat, divine super combat, and then brew, it completely ruins the effect. That's the only, maybe it's just I'm bad at the game, but that's the only reason why I would put that shit in the A tier and not the S tier.
But it gets knocked down because of one fairly niche raid that you like doing. I know that you mentioned other
I
content,
don't think
but
it.
like,
I don't think it just happens. I don't think it just happens at Tob though. You know, I don't take Brews to Vorkath, but if you did, it would happen there. I don't. You know, you could. You're not supposed to take Brews to Fazani's Nightmare for that exact reason, right? I think Fear says as a counterpoint, if you're going to chug Brews, you take a regular. That's just how it works, right? I'm throwing that out there as a point. If you don't think it has enough legs to stand on, we can put them both in the S tier. I think Super Combat, the regular without question, is an S tier potion.
I mean, I
But-
didn't even consider the like each of them having a different use. Like I guess I didn't consider like if you're taking Brews, you don't want a divine versus if you are chugging Brews, the regular. So they both could go in the S tier, I guess, at that point. Because they both
It's not even that
are good.
you should take one over the other. It's just a lot of times you take both. Like when I go to Tob, I take both.
Well,
For that reason of Verzik is sometimes a bitch and you'll get hit by a lot. You know, you'll be a dumbass and drink your divine super combat right before the green ball comes out, and he'll be like, well, guess I gotta waste it, you know? Like
no, put it both in the S tier. That's a good
both
place.
in the S tier is fine.
Both.
I think that's fine. My heart of hearts tells me super combat is just a step higher than divine super combat in the S tier. But
It's like
it's
S
fine
tier
to put them
plus.
both in the S tier. Yeah, it's like S tier plus, and divine is just like regular S tier.
God
you know?
tier. Throwing up cat. Okay.
So Nuke Moose says if some pots get boosted in their tier list for being easy to make, we just not going to talk about the fact that it's a 90 herblore. Listen, no, I guess we're not.
No.
Because on an Iron Man, it's not like these are inaccessible. They drop from Calvarion.
They do.
You get super combats from Calvarion, so it's not that you'll never get them before 90 herblore on an Iron, right? And as a main, you only really make these to max, right? The only time I've ever heard of people making super combats is they buy all the shit in increments and they max with super combats, because I think they might actually be a little bit profitable. Not a ton, but like a little bit.
And you could be farming Torstals for your herblore training, or like for your farming, and just have the Torstals already. Because I don't think Torstal seeds are that expensive, if I recall correctly.
They're like, not anymore. They're not.
Let me see.
FTOA, RIP.
Torstal seeds are only 8.3K.
It's nothing to scoff at that they do have an absurdly high level. Divine super combats are a 97 herblore requirement. I think if we are acknowledging herblore training as a part of this tier list, they're not the most, like, divines are not the most efficient to train with. I don't think the point of divines was ever to use them as herblore training, though. You know?
Yeah, it's just kind of convenient.
And I think as a training method, going from 90 to 99, super combats are a viable way to do it.
It's really annoying, because you can only make like
7 at a time,
5 or 6 at a time.
It's annoying. Yeah, it's annoying because it's slower, right?
Yeah, 5 7.
But I think it does. As far as it's not baseless as a training method, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
No, you're not. Yeah, if you have them, combine them. That's what I was talking about earlier with Iron Man. Like if you're 90 herblore and you've gotten to 90 by making the 3 staple potions that are pretty accessible for most irons to make, if you have them, make them. You've got thousands of them already, and you probably were going to. I don't know how easy it is to get Torstal seeds on an iron. I'm not. I guess if you're doing raids, they shit them out, but it's just kind of a situation of convenience, I guess, when it comes to having all the components already and you've worked to get 90 herblore, is why we're not really like making it a point of, yeah, but this is such a hard training method. Like 90 herblore sucks, so they should go in the A tier. This is one of the ones where this is a main account talking, and they're only like 12K. I think they're maybe less. They were 12K the last time I looked. Super Combat are 16 and a half. Whoa. They got expensive. That's a lot. Wow. So how much are divines? Hold on.
Currently, super combats, to train with super combats, you profit 443 GP per potion. So let's say I'm going to look up my own name on this calculator.
Oh,
Let's say I wanted to get from 92 to 99. We go to profit, ignoring all these herbs.
24K
Super combat potions
for a divine super combat?
They are some expensive booty.
Oh my gosh.
They are some expensive booty. Super combats. If I went from 92 to 99 with just super combats from where my account is sitting right now, I would make 18.7 mil. Like just did super combats. It's 42,000 of them, and I probably need a disgusting overhead.
Yeah.
To like cover all that at one time. But it would work, right? It's a viable training method for end game players.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it's still that. Even now that we've talked about it, Moose, I think it firmly solidifies the S tier too. It is annoying as shit because you only do 7 at a time. But
Withdraw X helps because you can just bing, 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 7 at a time. It's not as AFK as regular Herblore because you make half as many per inventory and it's twice as many clicks. But you said I kind of zoned out when you're talking. You're going to make profit if you did
18.7 mil.
That's
if I did super combats right to 99, it's 18.7 mil.
That's pretty decent.
Yeah. I think we've solidified them in the S tier, and for the sake of time, what if we get through the next stat boosting potions?
Okay.
And then went to break. How do you feel about that?
Yeah.
Because we could ride this bitch till the wheels fall off and make it a 4-hour episode. But what would there be a part 2 for then?
Right.
So with that said, we have technically 6 more potions. Because I'm not gonna include the brew in this. I know it technically increases your defense, but we're not gonna go there. The ranging pop, Michael. Where are we putting the ranging pop?
That's S tier. That bitch so easy to get as a main. They're cheap as hell. And there's nothing in this game that gives you a range boost. I wish they made a divine range potion. I don't know why. No, sorry, we do. What was the one that I'm wanting for divine? I don't know. Yeah, S tier.
I was just saying, Mike, I'm gonna blow your fucking mind when I tell you about this.
I'm a little embarrassed. I just said that.
I
don't know why. Why did I think there wasn't?
Are you thinking of divine magic?
No, that's like that's the new heart. That's the new heart. Is the divine magic? I don't know.
I mean, there is divine battle mage. Which battle mage isn't on here, but
yeah, I was going down the list and I'm like, wait, do I include like
and there
the
also
forgotten
is divine
brew
magic.
There
is divine
ancient
magic
brew
on here too?
There is? They make divine magics?
78 Herblore, you can make a divine magic potion. Yeah.
Well, I didn't want to
with a magic potion and crystal dust.
I just didn't want to include stuff that was like auto F tier. Because who is doing that? What? Okay. Can we talk about the magic potion real quick? What does this give you? And why is it such a high magic, or why is it such a high Herblore level? Hold on. Magic potion. I spelled magic wrong.
Wizard
potion. It will boost your magic by 4. Just a flat level increase. It takes a lantidime and a potato cactus, giving you 172 and a half Herblore XP, and it requires 76 Herblore.
Crusty.
After you do barbarian training, a caviar can be added to produce the magic mix, which requires 83. A magic mix has 2 doses, and it'll heal you for 6 additional hit points in addition to the magic boost. I feel like the only use is for pures for trying to barrage nuke says. Maybe? Well, like why does anybody besides Herblore training, why would anybody bring why did anybody making or even buying magic potions when the imbued heart exists? I know the imbued heart is expensive, But a +4, correct me if I'm wrong, was a Wizard Mind Bomb a +3? A Wizard Mind Bomb is a +3. If there was any potion that I think Jagex should outright buff, it's the Magic Potion. It's a +1 better than a Wizard Mind Bomb, which costs 1 GP, and you can do that within the first 5 minutes of making an account. You get a +3 for free. I don't know. F tier probably is where it deserves to sit because maybe D tier compromise for the fact that it's like a pretty decent training method.
Is it though?
172 Herblore XP is not that bad.
Okay, but what else can you use with Lantidimes? Lantidimes are anti-fire potions. So a magic potion versus an anti-fire potion, it's 157 versus 172. It's a little bit more, but I'm pretty sure in main account brain, it's more expensive to get potato cactuses. It might not be from TOA. Now that I think about it, I'm not 100% sure. I'll go to my Herblore skill calculator right here. If I wanted to make this all straight to 99, anti-fires would cost me 49 mil, magic potions would cost me 67 mil. So it's cheaper to do anti-fire potions with Lantidimes.
So your loss, if you were to buy them, is 1.7k. It's like 10 GP per XP, I think. Yeah, that's expensive.
I think that's expensive. I think it's an F. It's an F tier. Pod.
Okay, yeah, no D tier for you. Magic potion.
So we got 4 left. Where are we putting the divine range?
Probably S tier.
As if it's a question. Yeah, where we're putting the divine range pot. Now here's one that I don't know if, given you work in the tax bracket of someone fresh off Tutorial Island for the last 10,000 hours.
Can I stop you right there?
I don't know if you've ever used these potions before.
I was just going to say, Oxie, I'm going to refer to you on these next 3 probably.
I fucking knew it. You've never used a Bastion potion.
Who cares? Before. It's a range boost plus defense boost, right? What's the draw here? How much do these cost, first of all? They're probably expensive.
There's no way this super defense.
They're 23k
defense boost.
Wow, range it's 4 plus 10% of your level, rounded down, and then the defense is 5 plus 15%. What's the range boost? Hold on, is that the same as the range potion? It's boosted by 4. The range is 4 plus, so it's the same. Okay. I mean, it gives you defense, but as we pointed out, so do brews. So, like, if you're gonna be taking brews, then you would brew up heal. You already have the defense boost, and then you just re-range pot, right? Again, I'm going to refer to you on this one. I have no concept of like what content what they're useful at. They seem niche. Is what I'm trying to say. They seem niche. And they take vials of blood, those have got to be expensive. Nuke says S tier for your first fire cape. I mean, they're probably, I think I took them. Wait, what level are these required? They're 80?
Late 70s.
Oh, yeah, they're 80 Herblore. So I don't think TMD made.
You definitely didn't take Bastion potions.
Did I not?
Because again, what's the secondary, Michael? How do you make a divine Bastion or a Bastion potion?
What do you need?
A vial of blood.
Yeah, Canatine, a wine of Zamrock, and a vial of blood. Wow. Wine of Zamrocks are also just bitches to get on an iron.
So here's my thing, right? The Divine Bastion potion, because it's the exact same as the range pot, it's almost like that scene from Breaking Bad, right? He knows the recipe, so what do I need you for? Right? the Gus flashback. That's kind of how I feel about it.
You're
Like,
gonna put it in
it's
the S tier?
the Bastion potion. I mean, look, the Bastion potion is not without use, right? I'd be lying if I told you I never took the Bastion anywhere. I took Bastion to my first Infernal Cape. Take Bastion. So that's the thing, right? Like it doesn't even serve as much of a pre-pot or as much of a use in a pre-pot unless you're only using range. Like if you're using a Divine Super Combat as a pre-pot, a Divine Bastion is not worth it as opposed to a Divine Range pot, right? I don't often find myself taking Bastion potions to a lot of pieces of content. I'll take a Divine Bastion to kill Zulrah. I'll take a Divine Bastion. I might take 1 or 2 Divine Bastions or Bastions, period, to Zilly or Kriara. A mix of Bastions and range pots, right? Take it to Inferno. So it's a good thing to have an Inferno, just in case. What else? You can take it to fight caves if you want. I think that's the thing, right? Like you can take this anywhere as opposed to a range pot. Like unlike the super attack, super strength versus super combat potion debate that we had earlier, the Divine Bastion doesn't give you a lot of benefits beyond the defense bonus that you could potentially just get anyway by taking a brew.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. I would put this is going to be a hot take. This could be a B tier potion.
Yeah.
It's as good as a range pot, but it's expensive as shit.
I think that's where it comes down to is like the secondary or whatever
4-dose
you use
Bastion
to
pots
make it.
are fucking
23K.
And 27 for a Divine. That's the thing. It's like Fear says A tier because it's really good. It's really good, but that's the problem. It's just it's not better than a range potion. I think that's where I sit with it. It's not better than a range potion. And yeah, when you have a lot of money, like I got a 5-something bill bank, I could bring Bastions everywhere. You know, I think even players, unlike the, well, Pot is super defense, like Tutorial Island over here said.
Shut up.
I think even players with a lot of money would agree. Sometimes it's not worth it. If you're going to spend a lot of money on potions, bring Sandfuse, right? If you want to flex your bank, bring Sandfuse instead of Super Restores for a little bit of extra prayer. But like,
Damn,
I don't know,
supposed
man.
to be on this list, by the way.
E4 Gore, Sandfuse.
We'll put them on the next one.
Which probably would be A tier. Really good for combat encounters. A fucking nightmare to make. So, Sandfuse get an honorable A tier. I don't know, man. Unless someone gives me some real good reasonings as to why Bastion should be A tier and not B tier, because it's just the same. It's like 10 times the price for effectively the exact same benefit. Because a lot of the places were like, oh, I'll use a Bastion pot, like Hydra, for example. Bastions are really good at Hydra. But you know what else is really good at Hydra? Range potions. You want a sweaty tack at Hydra? Bring a stack of crystal dust next time you do Hydra. Because when that bitch drops range potions, you can make divine range potions. Bring a stack of crystal dust and your next Hydra task. You'll stay at that bitch forever. I think my record at Hydra is like 40 something kills, like 45 in a single trip. Because I had like 80 something bones on the ground. I put all the bones in one pile at Hydra. So it's my record. Yeah, unless you have a sound logic, Michael, I think Bastions and Divine Bastions are a B tier pot.
We could do a split, and just to say screw you, Divine, because it's so expensive, we could do A tier Bastion, B tier Divine Bastion.
Why?
Because it's so expensive. Nuke says B.
You realize
B
the regular
Bastion.
B for Bastion. I think that seals the deal. The regular is also 24K, Michael.
Yeah, I know. Okay, fine. Both in the B tier. B for Bastion.
B for Bastion. The last one, I don't know if
Hold on.
this ever has any use
Let's see.
anywhere.
We have to Google this. Zamorok brew. What does this bitch do? So
I believe it boosts your combat stats while reducing your defense.
So it says the Zamorok brew provides a temporary skill boost to attack equal to +2 plus 20% of your attack level, 2 plus 12% of your strength level, and it temporarily lowers your defense by 2 plus 10%. And
your HP.
And your HP. It lowers your HP?
Yeah. It's the opposite of a Saradomin brew.
Huh.
It boosts your attack and strength while lowering your defense and HP. The absolute antithesis of a Saradomin brew.
Oh, I mean, I guess that makes sense. Huh. Restores are frequently used with Zamorok brews to raise the lower defense. A super strength potion will always boost strength level higher than a Zamorok brew. However, the Zamorok brew's attack boost is slightly better than the attack potion. F tier? I think this is a potion that they probably could rework, but like lore wise, being the antithesis of the Saradomin brew makes sense. And I kind of like that it's there for that reason. Fear says it's D tier because while not completely useless, it's not used like at all. Very rare for speed runs since it gives a higher attack boost, but it's very extremely niche. It's extremely niche.
For the sake of the end game speedrun community, I'd be fine with.
Why are we giving them a sake though?
We did potions for dog shit Iron Man. And you're gonna leave my boys, the end game community, out of it because you're afraid to spell PVM? I'm putting this bitch in the D tier. I'm sorry. I won't let Michael disrespect the end game community any longer.
How much are these?
For those of you who
2K.
use these, they're like dog shit cheap. You know, that's the thing.
Hold on.
Like, they're super cheap.
Hold on. You could get a caviar and make a Saradomin mix, a Zamorok mix, which requires 85 herb lore and provides 58 herb lore experience. And then it will heal 6 hit points in addition to the brew behavior. So if you just made a Zamorok mix, you could negate some of the negative effects. Think about it, guys.
Then it's D tier for sure.
D tier for sure.
D tier for sure.
D tier for sure. Z for D. D for Zamorok. And then our last S tier potion of the day. Good old Sarah brews. Everybody's married to Sarah, and we're all dependent on her. Except for Saradomin is a boy. I don't know. Sarah brew, S tier. Let's send it. Send these people
S for Saradomin, bro.
S for Sarah, baby.
S for Sarah. I was so worried Michael was going to be like, well, it's expensive and it takes a lot of herb lore.
Stupid,
and you need to I was so worried that you were going to be like, I don't know if I could put this above the 8. I was going to have to start swinging. If
you want me to start swinging? Okay.
I'm sorry.
It's expensive. It lowers your attack and strength. It's a bad potion. You need another potion.
I gotta get Bird's Nest for this D tier.
Hey, Hunter contracts. Shit out. Shit out.
Giant mole, baby. Giant mole.
Okay, boomer. There's other ways to get birdhouses these days.
It's probably way quicker to do Hunter contracts than it is to do
actual birdhouse
runs.
What's it called? Actually, I think that's the meta.
No, I think it might be Hunter Rumors might be quicker. I'm not Master Hunter Rumors might legitimately be quicker than birdhouses. I'm not sure. I've not done. What do I look
if
like?
You need,
Iron Man? I don't
if
know.
you have thousands of toad flags, you probably should go to mole because that is really good. But over time, I think.
But this is our tier list so far,
yeah.
folks. We have gone over our time, so who knows? We're at the hour and 50-minute mark. We're probably going to be at the hour and 40-ish mark at this point in the show. But this is the point in the show where we're going to head off to break, and we're just gonna just hard cut it right here, and we'll pick it back up
Slice it.
next week. Yeah, just swing right down the middle. This could be damn near right down the middle. Though I gotta level with you, I don't really feel like counting. So with that, we will see you guys after this brief commercial.
Hi, my name's Dominic Onion. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about my newest endeavor, the Nightmare Zone. It's an opportunity for adventurers like yourself to come down and relive some of your favorite bosses, but in an unconventional way. We've got nothing but great reports from our adventurers who have done it. Here comes one right now. Hey, what's your favorite quest boss?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I held the space bar and clicked the boss. I couldn't even tell you. I've done like maybe 10 quests in my entire life.
Mine's Agrithanana. He's so funny. He looks like a banana.
Okay.
Hey, you want to come relive some of those quest boss fights?
Not really. I'm just here to buy some blood.
Perfect. I'll give you a tour. Talk to me, and I'll set you up with a rumble. You can fight all the bosses at one time. Kill the bosses, you get points. You can buy things to make your next rumble easier. You can also buy herb boxes and scrolls from my personal collection of paper. Give me enough points, and I'll use some of my onion magic, and I'll imbue some of your items for you.
You'll just like do this for free?
Of course not, adventurer. Man's gotta eat. It'll cost you a couple thousand GP per rumble. I don't think it's much to ask. So what do you think? Should I get you set up with a rumble?
Yeah, no. I think I'm just gonna go buy.
Perfect. Come talk to me. You can choose what bosses you want to fight. See what I mean? Flawless reviews from adventurers. The people you know won't let me inside, so I set up shop right outside the front gate. Come pay me a visit. Hey!
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that commercial break because I know that I sure did. Folks, it's Patreon time. We all know that. It's the second half of the episode. And we always start the second half of the episode with a little bit of Patreon. And that's going to be no different this time. On the screen right now is the Wise Old Men category. That's not for you, that's for me in a couple of days when I have to edit the show. But the Wise Old Men are on screen right now, people who support us at the recording booth tier. And we always shout out new ones every month. So to shout out the new Wise Old Men of the month, it's Pat L this week. Pat L subscribed for the first time.
Pat.
So Pat, thank you. Thanks for the subscription. Yeah. You're awesome, as are all the other Wise Old Men and the Party Pete's who get our live streams every once a month or so. What did you do on the last live stream, Michael?
I did diaries on my GIM. I took a poll. I said either we can do diaries, I can do dead man mode, or we can do community raids. Like we could just raid as a group. And I think there was 3 people the entire night that hung out with me. So we didn't have enough people who were not like at a hotel on hotel Wi-Fi.
You could have so done raids.
Listen. I think it was Chaos Cleric, Zix, and somebody else. And like 2 of the 3 people were on hotel Wi-Fi on a laptop. I don't think we could have done community raids. So I ended up just doing diary steps on my GIM. I wished you were there, and I told people, I'm like, we owe you guys a real episode, so I may just have to coax Oxie into another Patreon stream when he's back from vacation.
We'll see. But yeah, that's the Wise Old Man tier. But now into the KBD tier. I don't know how long the thing's been off the screen for, if at all. But anyways, it's KBD tier. Yeah, King Black Dragon tier. These are the folks who support us at the top tier and get shouted out every single week without fail. And every single week without fail, we start and we let them know how much we love them because they let us know how much they love us. Kicking things off, we have Apathy, Boston, Broke 70, Chaos's Unlucky Axe Grind. Is that Is that just the executioner's axe? This man made it seem like it was the worst
He
Patreon
did.
name in the
It's
world.
like, I hope my
Just the
Patreon
unlucky
name.
axe grind. Yeah, I don't know. My dad. Hi, Dad. Cloud Kicker. Damon S. Dicky Bird. Elite Oreo Dunker. Give us Flingo 666. Love ya, Oxie. Flingo's not gonna stick. Stop trying to make Flingo work.
I could
you guys.
get
Love
behind
you too,
Flingo.
Satan. I can't. I'll fight Flingo to the death. I'll fight Flingo almost as much as I'll fight a Dragon Warrior.
You're gonna get
Um,
Flingoed out of the window if you don't stop.
If I get Flingoed out of the window, you're gonna get overwhelmed in this bingo.
No, you're still gonna
And
help.
You're
You're just
gonna
gonna be
come
outside.
with your tail between your pingo, going, "Hey Oxy, can you come back?" If we don't call it Flingo, watching you, Michael. Our third favorite supporter, Ralph, Run Metal 15, Soggy Waffles, Steppy J, Sparky Life, Swole's Hot Italian Summer. Hey, yo, mio dio amico. The Big G Jordy, the Crayola Tallymorn, and Warbatroning. What a name. That name rolls off the tongue real well. Thank you guys for supporting at the King Black Dragon tier. You guys are fantastic. My family came over yesterday to help me move some furniture, and they asked me why I had so many dolls. And I said, those are the RuneScape ones, and I had to introduce them to KBD because it's out in my living room right now. So you guys are great. If you guys want to support us at any tier, head over to patreon.com/XPWaste. You can support for as little as $1. I think you can also technically apply and follow for free. But yeah, that's you can do that. We were doing Deadman mode the other night. Michael and I were killing people in Hannah's CC, and somebody traded me 100K in the CC. Jack traded me 100K and said, "Hey, I can't support on Patreon, so I can support in game." And I said, "I'm almost certain that's RWT, but hell yeah, brother!" And then we promptly went out and got murdered by a team in Deep Wilderness. So that was awesome. But yeah, head on over and do that. Normally, this is the part of the show where I send it over to Michael for the community question, but unfortunately, the king is dead. And we can't long live the king because we don't have a replacement. We've never really discussed what we want to do with this other segment.
I don't know.
Do you have any updates on the community question junior or whatever we're doing here?
I've been really thinking hard and trying to formulate a way, because people have told me you could just do community question on Discord. You could just ask the question and we answer it there. And I can. Somebody in the YouTube comments brought that up. And the only argument I have against that is Discord is a well-known place for conversation. And you mother freakers won't stop talking. And so what's going to happen is I'm going to ask the community question, and then somebody's going to answer it. And then 56 people are going to reply to that and be like, yeah, I think that too. Or there's just conversation's going to start. So if there was a way that I could set up a channel where you could only send one message and that was it, we would do it. And this is not a slight to you guys. I love that you guys like to talk. And that's, the community question is for you, the community. But it just organization wise, I'd be scrolling. And it'd be hard to organize it in the way that I could just read it off like Spotify used to have. Nuke mentioned threads. And yes, threads would be how it happens. But I'd have to scroll through the thread of conversation to find new replies to the community question. And we may try it. I could say this week's question is, what's your favorite potion? And maybe that's in the Discord right now. And if it is, go check the Discord and tell us what your favorite potion is. And next week I'll read it if it makes sense. But I'm thinking it would be cool to do a new segment where maybe we set up a new Google form every week, and you guys send me your screenshots of I don't know if you can upload a screenshot to a Google form, but it would be cool if you wanted to show off something, if you had a really cool collection log or a really cool 1KC boss pet or you just got like a third age pickaxe. Like it's like awesome drops, but it's user submitted, and I'm not just going through awesome drops reading what I think is cool, something like that.
Yeah,
I think that would be really neat.
That sure would be a bitch to have to sift through a Discord channel, through posts and conversations to shout people out. Anyways, it's time for achievement of the week, where we do exactly that. No one's gonna use a fucking Google form, Michael. Head out of the corporate brain. No one's gonna submit shit on a
I don't know.
Google form.
No one emails us
We have
either.
a Discord. Because we have a Discord. No one needs to email us. They could at Oxie and say, why didn't I make it into achievement of the week? They could DM me and say, why didn't I make it into achievement of the week? They could message me in game and say, why didn't I make it into achievement of the week? And people do that. Usually people do it as a troll. It's like my bingo teammates, like people I've met IRL, are like, how the fuck did my 1912 total level make it into achievement of the week? I'm like, shut up. Just stop doing that. But anyways, yeah, achievement of the week time while we contemplate a viable solution.
What's your favorite potion? Let me know.
Oh god, but don't have a conversation about it.
Stop talking about it. Just tell me.
Fucking mind. DM him directly.
Don't.
That?
No.
We're gonna kick things off.
Don't do that.
With it's a small achievement of the week this week, you guys. I gotta level with you. Unless I'm an idiot and I missed something, we've been chilling. It's the end of summer and we've been chilling, not doing too much. That's okay. Kicking things off in the miscellaneous category, we have 3 quest capes this week. We have Pudge Budge, Pseudo Wolf, and Achilles 20, which Achilles is the funniest one for me because his post is like, this is the first ever quest cape I've achieved on any account. And I never thought it was possible. And he's holding a shadow with his brand new untrimmed quest cape. And to me, there's something about like, you got all the mega weapons in your infernal cape and then just decided to like finish Clock Tower. Congratulations. Like, I don't know what that was, but but I think that's the funniest quest cape screenshot I've seen in a while.
It's Achilles, right?
Because yeah,
I thought about this morning. I'm like, don't you do like end game rating? Like, you're telling me because he has a GI, it's on his GIM, right? And
yeah,
you've done expert mode TOAs, but Desert Treasure 2 was too hard. I think it's just the act of doing the quest that's like, some people just can't be asked.
I'm really hoping it wasn't Desert Treasure 2. I'm really hoping it was like Grim Tales. I'm really hoping it was something stupid.
Monk's Friend is a great one.
CBA to do? Like, well, what's one that doesn't like isn't a requirement for anything?
Witch's House.
Grim? No, I think you need Witch's House for Grim Tales. But like, I don't know.
Witch's Potion.
I really hate the idea of doing the Perilous Moons quest, so I'm just not going to do it. Like something stupid like that. But additionally, in this week's miscellaneous category, Shazam. I think I'm saying Shazam. I think I'm going to call it Shazam, like Schmitz, but like Shazam. Got their diary cape this week. We'll hear more from them later. Speaking of later, in the skilling category this week, Seppi J achieved 99 farming, which I don't know if we shouted that out last week, because I think that would have been during the episode. But Seppi J got 99 farming, Mythical got 99 farming, and Akshum, you're never going to believe this, Michael, also got 99 farming. Big Thickums achieved 99 mining and 99 defense.
S tier name.
Monkey Bonana. Big Thickums, it's a good name.
S tier. Yeah.
F tier skill, a S tier name. Monkey Bonana, another name I like quite a bit, got 99 fishing. Uke got their first ever 99 with 99 hit points. Gowerly achieved 99 Slayer. Let me move this damn window around. Danish Deity achieved 99 defense. Danish Deity also shouted out one of his friends who had 200 mil fire making. GIM somebody? I don't know, man. Get some help. 200 mil fire making on a GIM? Get some help. Lord Maticus achieved 99 hunter. A party I was there for. The party was pretty lit. Chef Boy, it's Chef Boy Red, but I also think it's Chef Boy RD.
R.E.D. Chef Boy R.E.D.
Yeah, chef, whatever, chef. Chef Boy, Mr. Ravioli got 99 mining. Iron Kai got 99 hunter. That is 2 of the top 3, I think. I think Lord Matic has finished in the top 3, so I don't remember. So 2 of our top 3 or top 4 players from this past week's Skill of the Week achieved 99 hunter in the time that they were competing. And then finally, like I said, you'll hear more from him. And now is that time. Shazam achieved 2200 total level. Yeah, good job. We're going to wrap things up with combat. A bit of a brief section here this time around. Vikinger Odin achieved their first fire cape this week, which is awesome. Logger Clay killed Gauntlet for the first time. Submediant killed the Corrupted Gauntlet for the first time on his GIM, I'm pretty sure. Not even his main, on his GIM. And I want to say last night, our boy Wispy Embers killed Zulrah for the first time. I think that was last night. If it wasn't last night, it was on Friday night. I think he killed Zulrah for the first time. At least I think it was Wispy. It wasn't posted in achievements. I just remember seeing Zulrah scales in the clan chat. Some fancy stuff here. Fish, he got his phalanx and his Manaphyte ornament kit by proxy. But if you get the phalanx, usually you just get both, right? Like, the meta has been developed where, like, you either get all of them in one go, or you get your Missouri kit, then you get your Fang kit and your ward kit at the same time, right? Like, I very rarely see people just go for the ward kit by themselves unless they're going for pet transmogs, you know what I'm saying? But in any case, wrapping up achievement of the week this week, we have 2 quivers with P-bods after like 100-something attempts, and Clues, who now has the quiver before the Infernal Cape. And he said the next grind is the Infernal Cape. You know, I think it goes to show that while still probably easier than Inferno, Coliseum's still going to kick your ass. And it's going to be a really good PVM test. But it's also going to inspire a lot of confidence, because a lot of the stuff you see in Inferno does translate over to Coliseum and vice versa, you know? So I think once you learn how to manage stacks in Coliseum, you'll be more familiar with it in Inferno. And I'm confident you guys, P-bods, I don't know if you have an Infernal Cape or not, but Clues, if both of you don't have a cape, I know that once you have a quiver, you're going to be like, oh God, why was the Inferno so scary? You have the knowledge going into it, right? You guys are going to absolutely crush it in there. But that wraps up achievement of the week. If you did something awesome, head on over to our Discord, discord.gg/OSRSTNL, and post about your achievements. As we say every single week, it doesn't have to be a quiver or an Infernal Cape or a Max Cape or a Diary Cape times 10, whatever it is. Anything you value as an achievement, you can post. People, I think it was Apex Wolf, recently posted last week. They hit a huge milestone by hitting like base 95s or like 95 something. It was like a solid whatever. People post all the time how they hit like 100 combat for diaries, or they get base 60s, whatever it is. And I gotta say it. I've said it once, I'll say it again. We do have objectively the best RuneScape Discord in the world. Our community is fantastic. You know, people are always ready to celebrate your achievements. And it's not just achievements. Michael talked about awesome drops. Like, we have a very, very popular awesome drops channel where people always post about, you know, the stuff that they're doing. Like the other day, our boy Raccoon, I know drops aren't achievements. After 1,397 KC, he got what looks like a solo T-bow. Oh no, not a solo T-bow. It's a 3-man T-bow, and finally completed Cox. Green logged, minus the capes, right? But people are posting all sorts of stuff. We have a collection log channel, levels and achievements channel. So much fun stuff here that people just like posting. And we would love to have you here too. And as always, the Sunday Raiders are in full effect. There's people doing like group nightmare right now, I think. So head on over to our Discord. Links in the description down below. We'd absolutely love to have you. I think it is time now that I throw it over to Michael, so he can now finally have his own segment, kind of, or like joint final segment. We're coming to a close on another tier list episode, Michael. I think we made it out of this one without as many scars as we did the last couple of tier lists. But, you know, I'll still fight you about a super defense pot.
Fight me.
Anyways,
bitch.
Do you have a fun question for us, Tutorial Island? Do you have a fun question for us?
I do. I'm conflicted on that nickname because I like when people give me nicknames because I feel like it's a term of endearment. Like you like me enough to call me something that's not my real name, but that's also hurtful. So
It's just another way to call him poor. He doesn't like that.
I have two fun questions. One off of my dome, and one from the CC Tiny. Because I posted in here, I said, "Quick, I need a fun question." Oxie's almost done with Achievement of the Week, and Heine says, "What solo content would you make eligible for group content? Take a solo boss and open it up to everyone." Now, I don't know if this means loot share. Like, we're all on the train that God Wars should have loot share. If you kill bandos, everybody should get loot, but the MVP should have a better chance at whatever, But like, I don't know if this means group gauntlet. That would be kind of cool. But yeah, that's the first question. So be thinking about that. And my question, the second question I have for you in this fun question section is, in light of me sitting at Redwoods, I want to know, is there something that is like limited to one location that you wish was just like freely available around Gielinor? And the example that I have is Redwoods. Like, there's two places in the game. One, really, if you don't count the farming guild, you can only chop one of two redwood trees at a time. But like, what if redwoods were everywhere? Like, what if we had a redwood forest? I want to know, is there a piece of skilling content or even PVM content that you wish was just more naturally about the land of Gielinor? You can answer one or both in whatever order you like. And I can also answer them too.
Do you have one in mind?
Okay, so for the skilling one, I think it would be cool. It may be problematic for training, but they could balance it in some way. I think it would be cool to have farming be more accessible, kind of like in Minecraft, where you can just take a hoe and till the ground or do whatever, and then you can plant certain seeds. Say like in your house, you could have a farming patch just wherever you want in your house, or just like, I don't know, if you need a potato, just go and till up the ground and plant it. You need an herb, just plant it in the ground and see what happens. Farming shouldn't be limited to like, this is the cultivated patch that I walk around and it's right here. The dirt is everywhere. Now, it does get problematic when you think about certain soil types. But then again, this is a fantasy video game and we should have what we want. My big one, though, is the redwoods. Like, I wish redwoods were in more places, and they don't even have to be as monstrous and giant as they are here. We could have slightly smaller, younger redwood trees that still give you the benefit of a long chop session, but just like maybe you create a ladder using the construction and like you get a little bit higher and then it has certain tiers that way. But like, the trees that we have are massive and they don't need to be that big to have a redwood forest. Like, you don't need to be able to drive a car through. You don't need to be able to drive a car through it for it to be a redwood, So that would be my skilling one. I think for group content, I just said it, gauntlet. Group gauntlet would be kind of fun. And that just brings up the conversation of, well, why not just have dungeoneering? I think dungeoneering would also be fun. As a skill, though, I don't know. I didn't play RS2 enough whenever dungeoneering came out to have a true opinion on whether or not it should be an actual skill. But I do think like group dungeons that are randomly, what is that? Like they're just randomly generated, procedurally generated would be really, really cool. And if you could go into the gauntlet and like one person is the mage, one person is the range, one person's the melee, and you just kind of trade off who is attacking, and maybe there's like a healing element with the gauntlet where if your overhead prayer is being prayed against, or if your attack style is being prayed against, you can be the healer of the group and go around and heal your teammates while they're DPSing. It'd be kind of cool. They'd have to really change the encounter, but something like that would be really, really neat. And I thought that's what Moons of Peril was supposed to be. Whenever they talked about like the perilous moons, they're like, it's a group barrows or something, but it really isn't. You don't need a group to go there. I think we were kind of it was like wrongly advertised to be, because we're like, do we need roles? Are we gonna have like a DPS? Are we gonna have a healer? Is it like a group boss where? Anyway,
I don't remember.
Am I thinking of something different?
I think the Hoikodal might lead to that, but I don't know.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
I know, like, I don't know. Who knows?
You've had some time to think. What are your thoughts here?
I think this can be a little out of pocket, right? For a simple answer, I think there should be more butterflies that spawn en masse, like they do on Varlamore for hunter training, because that could actually be good, like barehanding butterflies. Can you barehand butterflies outside of the sunlight and the moonlight? Let me see. Oh yeah, you actually can. So maybe just increase the spawn rate of them so they're not miserable. I don't know. Anyways, what I think would be interesting to have throughout more of the game. A lot of people are not going to like this one. On PvP worlds, XP and loot is boosted.
Oh.
Temporarily. Once a week on PvP worlds, you get like an hour of double XP.
I mean, you're cooking with something, dude.
Like insane loot
risk and
drops.
reward.
Like it's all boosted. Because no, I don't think RuneScape needs a double XP weekend. But I think, because I really like the concept of the wilderness, particularly the wilderness bosses, where they shit out GP. Like there's just so much money that you could make in the wilderness. Like regularly, I'll have like a 2 mil looting bag when we go to Venenatis, right? And it's not even like it takes a lot, right? It takes not a lot of effort. You get lucky with onyx bolts or snapdragons or magic logs or spiders eggs, and you have a ton, right? So that's why I'm thinking, like, if we expanded that system for like, I don't know, from like 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. every Saturday night on all multi-combat bosses in the game. Like, could you imagine going to Bandos and making 40 mil without getting a unique?
Yeah.
Right? That'd be insane. But you know how scary it would be to do Bandos with a 10 mil looting bag per piece and then a team logs in? Oh my God. That'd be disgusting. You get killed? That'd be insane.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, I feel like there's a lot of potential for it, because frankly, I don't think it would be that good for the game, right? I'm just in like a bit of a dead man mode mood. And I think it's definitely better as a temporary game mode than it is as something permanent. But I do think that idea of like, what if for a brief period of time, you got extra XP or extra resources or, extra loot from bosses. Like it's not even like, oh, you just get uniques more frequently. It's that like during from 8 to 10 p.m. every Saturday night, instead of dropping absolute garbage, Nightmare and Bandos and any other group content in the game, they'll drop like good stuff like Ruby Dragon Bolts E and like a stack of 300 manta rays, like good stuff. I understand I am just describing Dead Man Mode Armageddon, right? I just think that could be neat to see. As far as solo content that could be multi-man construction, good God. As far as solo content that I think could be half decent group content, or because my concern with group content, right, is if you make it a group boss, it's gonna die immediately. You know how quickly Hydra would be killed if you could do it in a multi-combat encounter? You know how quickly Thermi would be killed?
Mm,
I think Thermi is multi, but you need to be like on task or something like that.
Yeah.
Like I just think like a lot of bosses that are killed individually are so well designed to be killed individually, right? A fun one could be the Colosseum.
Oh,
Having multiple
true.
people inside the Colosseum could be fun because stacks and aggros could shift back and forth. Maybe if aggros were on a timer or like an attack cycle, like Verzik. So in P3 Verzik in hard mode, I think it's every 5 attacks she has a chance to swap tank. I think it's every 5. But maybe something like that, where, you know, it would certainly make the Saul fight a lot more interesting, right? Because as far as I know, Saul's attacks shake the ground in a specific pattern, assuming Saul is facing you. How does that change when Saul's not facing you?
Ooh.
Right? Where do you have to move? Right? How does it change up the fight when you're not the tank at Saul Heredit? You know, how does it change up the fight if, you know, you're both on the south pillar and a boss, you know, is that the meta? You just DD on the same pillar? Does that even work? Right? Would they the question of turning solo bosses into group encounters is what pieces do they have to change to then affect more players, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Scaling HP probably is not enough.
well, it's not even, it would have to be like a mechanical shift.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't know. You bring more than one person into the Inferno, suddenly safe spots don't work. Like, it's just smart AI, and they path around safe spots.
Ooh.
You know, like what happens then with more than one person? Is it then tactical to divide your team among the pillars? You know, do you have one person who can prayer flick take the aggro? But how is aggro determined, right? That's the problem I see with like what solo boss could be good for group content. I think Leviathan could be interesting because a lot of shit happens in Leviathan's arena that I think could be a lot of fun, you know? And like the difference with Leviathan as opposed to particularly Duke and Vard is that you have like rocks drop on you that you have to be in a specific spot for. You'd have to coordinate really well. Lightning could get messy. You know, the rock fall phase could get messy.
Yeah.
And that could make the fight more challenging. I don't think Duke or Vardorvis really have much to say. I think Whisperer multi-combat could be interesting because you have to like stay away from each other. If you get too close, you're gonna send one of those shock waves after every one of her attacks. You know, if you fight Whisper, you know what I'm talking about, or at least you know what I'm trying to say. If you send that into one of your teammates, you're screwed, right? You do more damage to them. So like that could be fun. How does it work with like the Shadow Realm phase in Whisperer? Do you all have to go on the same tick? Like what does that look like? You know,
You probably couldn't start it until everybody's there.
You could almost tank it. You could like swap phases with multiple people, which could make that fight more interesting. It's like, all right, I've got the ghost phase with my Venator bow. You've got the pillar phase where you have to stand behind the pillars, and then you've got the ball phase where you just do the balls, and we'll sit and like eat up or tank the boss or something like that. So like that could be fun. Moose says Duke, so I could hire a prepper. I think that's just my trouble is that translating a solo boss into a multi-boss is going to be tough. But it's so weird because multi-bosses feel so much simpler. You know? Like regular Nightmare, mechanically way different than Fazani's Nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
Way different. Right? Because solo boss, like, I don't know how you would do it. But yeah, I think Group Coliseum could be fun.
Yeah.
Group Whisperer, Group Coliseum.
I don't know if this is accessible to everyone, but during a League's stream, in the fight pits, I think it is, there was like a bunch of fight caves NPCs spawning.
Oh yeah, they spawn after a while.
Oh, okay, so it is a real thing. I think it'd be fun to go in the fight caves, and just like you said with the Inferno, it's basically the same thing, but like each person has their own set of monsters that spawn. So like in every rotation, 2 of each, whatever it is, or if there's 3 people in there, 3 spawn. So you have 3 Jads that you have to coordinate with, or like maybe you pull your Jad into this corner so it doesn't aggro, or whatever it is. Or say it is 3 Jads, they just do the triple Jads mechanic where they're on, they're doing their rotation.
4-man Inferno, 12 Jads, a Zuck on each side.
Seriously though, it would be kind of cool. Like,
okay, hold on. That would be funnier than shit. You get 4 Zucks, 1 on each side. Each player gets a shield, and instead of going back and forth, the shield just rotates around the room, and you have to stay behind your shield while the Zuck fight is happening. And you just have to just like shooting a different Zuck on every single rotation.
And all 4 of you are
That'd be
running.
so stupid.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I think that like they really have a lot of opportunity, and even for solo, like mostly in solo encounters, but like they could make Inferno harder. They could make fight caves harder, where you just have double of everything or triple of everything, and it translates to at the end of your fight caves run, you have triple Jads to worry about. And they could just like
make it a challenge.
Yeah, they could do like the challenge Inferno.
You have to,
or the challenge
where you
caves.
have to stay on the same wave as your partner because your waves are independent.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
So let's say we go into the Inferno together, and I get to wave 30, but you're still on wave 26. My wave 30 enemies spawn, but your wave 26 enemies spawn.
Oh.
And it only matters if we're on the same wave
to progress.
So like if we get off kilt, right? If I get to wave 2 quicker than you do, or wave 3, you see wave 2 and 3 enemies at the field at the same time. And you have to coordinate so you don't get 2 Zucks at once. Right?
Yeah.
That'd be fun. And it also makes it so that like, you can't just like bring a friend in and cheese your first Infernal Cape. Like if you're going to bring a friend in, you better be able to hang with that friend.
Nuke said, I'm just safe spot this bat until you finish your wave. But then they would probably have to do like the smart pathing to where nothing is safe spottable.
I think you could probably get away with safe spotting because again, just because I have my stack safe spotted doesn't mean it does anything for your stack.
Oh, that's true.
Because if I have a bat safe spotted in such a way where it throws off your 1-tick alternate, what are you gonna do?
It's still, it would still take a lot of coordination.
What can you do? Do I have to sit in the back? When in doubt, send it south. Dick in hand, lazy flicking a ranger until you get done, or what do we have to do? And then does it come a point where I think you're taking so long that I just wait, and then you get ahead of me suddenly, and then what? Oh god, the horror. Right?
Oh, then I have to do my wave over again.
It'd be dumb as hell. The whole thing is dumb as hell. But like, it could be fun, like a one-time thing. Who knows? What a time! What a time! What an episode! What a time!
Thank you, Heine. Heine4 for that fun question, and thank you, Michael, for that fun question.
Yeah, thank you, Michael. Thank you, Heine. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Heine.
Thank you, Heine.
Yeah. Part 2 will be next week, you guys. If you guys have a replacement for the community question, let us know. If you want to see more of us, there's a link tree in the description with every link you could ever need for us. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Spotify. Rate the show. Do people still rate the show? I don't know.
Maybe.
We are alarmingly close to 1 million subscribers. In fact,
1 million
if we
subscribers?
Go to Spotify
No,
for
1 million
right
streams.
Now, no, 1 million streams. That's what I meant. We are Let me see. Let's wait for it to pull up. We currently, at the time of recording, sit at 969,800 views across all of our platforms. I believe that's Spotify and Apple Music, so not counting YouTube.
Bro,
We're going to hit 1 million by the end of the year, but obviously we need your help to do that. So like maybe we can have like a giveaway or a party or something. Who knows? We'll have to
Ooh.
do something fun for 1 million. Otis says still can't find the OnlyFans link. That's the next tier Patreon, brother. I'm sorry. That is where we are going to wrap things up for you guys, though. Michael, unless you have any final thoughts, we'll catch you all next week. What you think?
No. Send them off.
No, not a single final thought. See you folks next week for part 2 of the tier list.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.